morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or good evening. Okay, it looks like a few people aren't able to hear. Is everyone able to hear me? Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. And for all of those who can't make it, we look forward to welcoming you, to the recording of this after the session. So we will definitely share that with everyone. So thank you for joining us today. Now, we've got quite an exciting program. So today, we've got a number of great sessions planned. I'll be doing a short welcome this morning. Then we've got a showcase of the latest AI features in OpenLearning and a refresher of what's already there. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you. That'll be led by David Collien, OpenLearning founder and CTO. Then we'll have a short break, then a panel discussion on what's next with AI, e-learning, and corporate L&D. That'll be followed by the OpenLearning Awards ceremony and the graduates this year of the OpenLearning Certified Educator Program. After that, we will have an academia and industry showcase where a number of educators and institutions will showcase the work they've done over the past year in online learning and corporate learning. And then we'll be wrapping up shortly after that. Now, if you want to ask any questions throughout the conference today, please share your thoughts in the chat or the Q&A box at any time. If you can't stay for the whole session, it will be recorded. So we will send around the recording of the webinar shortly after it completes the next couple of days. And if you have any feedback, feel free to complete our survey at the end. Now, let's get started. So just want to welcome all of you today and thank you very much for joining us. We're really excited to be here with you virtually. So to give you a little bit of background, OpenLearning is an AI-powered lifelong learning platform. And the company has been founded just 12 years ago. In 2012, we launched in Sydney, Australia, as the first MOOC platform, Massive Open Online Course platform in Australia, in partnership with UNSW and a couple other institutions at the time. We then expanded into Southeast Asia, into Malaysia in 2013 and 2014. And we're really honored to be selected as the MOOC platform for the public universities in the country at that time. And we work closely with many universities since. So that kickstarted our expansion and the establishment of our regional office in Kuala Lumpur. So today, OpenLearning has grown from one country to 2 countries to many countries and cities around the world with over 4 million learners on the platform and 250 education providers delivering all sorts of courses from short courses, MOOCs, micro-credentials, and as a learning management system as well. So we're very excited. And over the years, we've pioneered a range of initiatives and developments in the education technology sector, from MOOCs to micro-credentials to outcome-based assessment, portfolios, and more recently, the launch of embedded generative AI within OpenLearning. And that's what we're here today for. We're really honored to work with many excellent institutions, world-class institutions around the world across the university and higher education sector, vocational and TVET, upskilling, corporate L&D, and many government agencies and associations as well. So we're really appreciative of all the trust and hard work that our partners and our team have put in over the years. Now, just to give you some more background on OpenLearning, OpenLearning is a learning management system designed specifically for lifelong learning. It provides the end-to-end suite of tools for delivering any type of course from online to blended learning. And it provides all of the features and functionality for doing everything from promoting your course to taking payments, delivering the course, handling assessment, digital portfolios, digital credentials, and much, much more. At OpenLearning, we actually have a few other products as well that you may or may not be aware of. We now operate the UniGuide in Australia. The UniGuide and postgradaustralia.com.au are 2 of the largest course directories for universities and higher education providers, attracting close to 1 million students per year. In addition to that, for the past few years, we've been the technology and operating partner for the BEST network, which is the Biomedical Education Skills and Training Network, in partnership with UNSW and the University of Queensland. And now about 20 universities around the world are using the BEST network as a virtual microscopy tool accessing about 22,000 medical images through a Google Maps style image browser. So you can teach and learn with medical images. And more recently, we launched Course Magic. Course Magic is a suite of AI tools that saves up to 80% of the time for educators when developing their courses. Now, today, what we're going to be showing you is actually a suite of AI tools inside the OpenLearning platform, embedded within OpenLearning. However, we also offer many of these tools through Course Magic, and Course Magic works with any learning management system. And that's a tool that you can generate content in and then export it in a standard format into your LMS. So we've got both options for you. The big idea at OpenLearning is we're going from teaching and learning through to graduate outcomes. We want to empower your team to deliver effective and successful courses, supporting everything from building and managing all of your courses in a single portal, handling course authoring, course management, progress tracking, learning data, formative assessment, and much, much more. We also have the ability to promote your courses through the OpenLearning Marketplace, take payments, handle promotions, and all of those excellent things as well. And when students complete your course, you can issue digital credentials and give them an automatically generated portfolio that showcases all of their learning. So this end-to-end process is designed to streamline both the design, delivery, and credentialing of short courses, micro-credentials, and face-to-face accredited courses as well. And this works across higher education as well as in the corporate space. Now, when we first set out embedding generative AI into OpenLearning, we've had a number of key principles that we've followed. The first has been empowering educators by providing suggestions on all aspects of course design, delivery, and assessment. We want to streamline the workflow for educators. On top of that, we believe that humans are always in the loop and they are the decision makers. So all of the tools we have are instigated by the educator and provide suggestions to the educator. They don't do things automatically on behalf of the educator. We focused on implementing best practices in learning design to maximize outcomes, letting you choose from a range of taxonomies and frameworks and pedagogical styles. We are also using the latest enterprise-grade technology, GPT-4o from Microsoft Azure. And this version of GPT-4o actually has more guardrails and it's more secure than using the one from OpenAI. So the data that you generate does not go back into the training set for OpenAI. So your content sort of just stays, private to you. So when all of this is followed, we really believe that generative AI can increase the quality of education and result in better outcomes for learners when it's used appropriately. Now, the way in which we've approached AI is really in line with the OpenLearning educational philosophy and approach. When we first started OpenLearning, the aim was always to provide a platform focused on active learning for authentic education. We want to make sure that students are empowered so that we can foster deeper learning through intrinsic motivation. We want to have more authentic and active learning experiences to go beyond content publishing. Courses need to be more than just videos and readings and quizzes. There need to be activities and projects and much more than that. And we hope to foster a community inside the courses themselves. So focusing on community and connectedness, encouraging students to share, build connections, get to know each other, and collaborate. Now, one of the practical advantages of this approach is that it enables you to design courses for learners to demonstrate how they learn, not just what they know. So the aim is to create active learning experiences that produce unique evidence of learning that's automatically captured in an outcome-based assessment system. What this boils down to is the idea that when you have your online course, or any course for that matter, you want to collect as many data points as possible or pieces of evidence that the student has achieved the outcomes or is progressing towards achieving the outcomes. So in that sense, we're hoping that courses might have 10, 20, 50, or 100 smaller discrete activities rather than just one capstone project and a final exam and videos and quizzes along the way. So this way you can see somebody's progression through the course. You can see how they've developed their learning in alignment with the outcomes. And bringing all that together, you get a very holistic view of the student's capabilities. Now, I think what's interesting about this approach is that it also helps us combat the use of generative AI by students, because we know that students are using generative AI. Many of them, certainly the best students probably are at least, but everyone probably is eventually. So we want to know that people can use AI appropriately, that maybe they can use AI throughout the learning journey and then compile the things they're doing together to produce a larger piece of work. And that's what this approach allows you to do. So that's what we are focused on. How do you make it possible to design as many of these learning activities as possible? So the challenge has always been from a learning design perspective initially, creating project-based learning scenarios, case studies, that are really contextualized and relevant to the subject in the course that you're developing is a lot of time. It's a lot of time and effort, and we don't all have that much time to build our courses. So what we have focused on initially is providing a set of tools that enable educators to design courses as if they had a learning designer sitting next to them who was also a subject matter expert, like a combined subject matter expert and learning designer. But we want to do it in such a way that we bring in educational best practices. So we have our AI course builder, which takes you in a step-by-step approach from outcomes, to course structure, module structure, and content. We have tools to generate activities and assessments. And then we have our content generation tools, where you can generate all sorts of case studies, mathematical proofs, equations, and much more. We have image generation, and today we're really excited to share with you that we'll have facilitation and feedback in our AI tools as well, and that's what Dave will be demonstrating shortly. Now, since we launched our first suite of AI tools, we launched our AI content and formative activity generation tools in June last year. And then in January this year, we launched our AI course builder, providing a top-down tool to help people design their courses. Now, in that time, the AI tools within OpenLearning have been used to generate over 100,000 pieces of content across over 2,900 courses. And this comes to about 30 million plus words being generated with AI. Now, one thing that we look at is whether people are actually using the content that's generated and they're actually happy with it. So we allow people to sort of accept or reject the content that has been suggested by the AI. And at this point, about 78% of the content being generated is being utilized. When the content is not being utilized, we assume people are refining it, trying again, testing it out. But 78% is actually quite high for this. So we're quite excited to see that most of the content being generated is very useful. Now, within OpenLearning, the top countries that are utilizing AI are Malaysia, Indonesia, Australia, Brunei, India, and the United States. So it's great to see people around the world taking advantage of these tools. What's really exciting as well is that the use of these AI tools is accelerating within OpenLearning. And these tools are only available to educators at the moment. So these are people who are building and running courses. And the growth in usage of AI tokens, a measure of AI usage in the sector, has been growing exponentially at OpenLearning since we launched our AI tools. You can see it really took off in the beginning of this year, and that was when we launched our AI course builder. So that's really helping people develop very in-depth courses. In a step-by-step approach, you can generate entire units, 150 hours of learning plus, bring them together, build a whole qualification using AI and saving a lot of time and money. And these tools are not available to learners. And what's really interesting to see is that courses using AI on OpenLearning are being launched in half the time than those that don't use AI. So what that means is if somebody normally spends 30 days building their course, we can see on OpenLearning that those people that are using AI are now finishing or launching their courses in half the time, in 15 days. So on average, it's probably saving at least 50% of the time in getting courses developed. And the courses that are developed have more content, more in-depth activities than otherwise. So what's next? So far we've focused on tools for educators to develop course content and materials. Now, today, I'm really excited to introduce David, who is going to showcase the AI tools in OpenLearning, both for building courses and for facilitating.
right. Thank you. That shows some of what we're currently looking at, working on. We're currently building out those interesting quiz features that were mentioned there in the video as well, and looking at the AI generative AI enablement of quiz features as well in perhaps early next year. So, but today I would like to go through the Open Learning platform in terms of course authoring and facilitation in terms of how our AI, generative AI tools are helping with those two problems specifically. So, Open Learning is a learner-centered platform. It focuses on community and engagement and the ease of creating and delivering those kinds of experiences. So at its core, Open Learning's toolset supports the design of courses that are immersive and interactive and meaningful, and they foster collaboration, interaction, and co-creation amongst learners. So this is the homepage for a Open Learning course. This is a pre-made course that ran a couple of years ago. Um, and it's introducing the fundamentals of computer science. So it's called CS 101. Uh, and this, while the platform is built around those social experiences that Adam mentioned, it also enables like self-paced learning, includes features such as automatically saving learners' work to a portfolio, reusable courses that can be sort of run across multiple cohorts, and support for outcomes-based assessments, certificates, credentials, and so on. So there's a lot to explore here. But just as a brief overview, in case you haven't seen the platform before, this is the homepage of a course, and straight away you can see that if I want to just click this edit button, I can go into course authoring mode immediately as a course author on this page, and I can start editing anything on this page. So this is sort of showing the real ease of use of this widget-based editing and authoring system that Open Learning has. Each page is also you can upload the videos and all this sort of thing, but it's also a source of discussion. You'll see here that every page has this, what we call this ubiquitous comment thread. So each page is automatically a source of discussion, and this homepage is actually being used as an icebreaker activity for this course. So if you have a look here, in this section of the course, which again, we can just edit straight away if we wanted to. This whole section is like editable content. And we can, change the text, move the images around in this WYSIWYG editor here. But if we're looking at it from a learner's perspective, it's an activity that is an icebreaker called Curious but Skeptical. And it's a game that just gets you to break the ice because starting learners off with a contribution to the class immediately sets the tone for the rest of the course and makes it a space for contribution rather than just learning passively. So we have this comment thread down the bottom here. People are introducing themselves. Everyone's replying to each other's comments. And this is sort of the heart of open learning, creating this sort of community feeling throughout the course. If we go to a different page, for example, we can look through the navigation here, look through the different modules, and we go to this page called Instructions Are Hard. This is an interactive social activity. In this activity, we're going to do this gentle introduction with the class to the joys and perils of writing programming code. Specifically here, we're looking at how it's difficult for the computer to understand instructions unless they're given very precisely, as how the computer is expecting them. So we are going to get the class here to share cooking recipes with one another, which is this familiar analogy for following instructions as precisely as they can. And then once the learners will share something, we'll get the class to deliberately misinterpret any ambiguities in each other's instructions, creating a discussion around this concept of missing context when it comes to a programming language. So this is like how this activity has been thought out. So the learner shares their recipe up here. And before we get into the rest of it, we have some other content on this page, where we tie in some videos too. Here's a funny analogy for the concept that we're teaching. We have a video here which has got some um, a professional who is sharing some war stories about how this concept comes up in their own practice. And then when we come down here, we have the second half of the activity where we showcase everyone's recipes. And you can see here that the class and facilitators um, can um, can comment directly on these posts as well. So here, Charisse has shared her response, and you have facilitator as well as the class commentary on each other's contributions and posts on this activity. And how do you build this? Well, it's exactly the same as what I was showing on the homepage before. This page is editable, and you have this widget-based editing system where you can drag and drop things directly into the page, all these different widgets and sections that you can play with. Um, and and if you don't like a section, you can remove it. You can edit the settings of everything. You can show how different things are aggregated and set up in different galleries and showcases and all the rest of it by changing the completion settings or the setup of each of these widgets. So this is how you construct an activity on OpenLearning. So um, uh, when it comes to the navigation as well, a course is broken down into modules. And navigating through OpenLearning is fairly intuitive. Each course has a module that is a structured part of the learning journey, and each page or activity captures the completion for each page as well. And you can get a full breakdown of everything that I have completed in the course by clicking on the progress bar at the top, and you'll see I have all the analytics and statistics of where I'm up to this course. And you can see it's quite a large course, and I've only done little parts of each of the activities so far. So this is just a very brief and quick overview of the platform with the way that the courses have this customizable navigation, different modules, different pages, the ability to quickly author pages with this widget editing system, and the ability to quickly create these social activities where you share and comment on each other's work as a sort of a natural way of building a course on OpenLearning. And there's a lot more, many more features to explore as well. We have, for example, a course feed to keep you up to date with all the contributions, the latest stuff that's happening in the course, groups and group work, and galleries and showcases of what's going on, announcements to push out to the course, etc. So everything that you might expect when delivering a course. But what I'd really like to show off today is this new feature that we've been prototyping, which is part of our AI suite, which I'll show a bit more about the AI course builder tools in a minute. But I'm really excited about this facilitation tool that we've put in, the AI assisted facilitation. So in my course here, I have enabled the prototype of our AI facilitation assistant, which can provide suggestions for facilitators to better engage learners, such as responding to these types of posts, or prompting deeper discussion in comment threads on the pages, in these comment threads on the bottom of the pages, or within the comment threads on posts as well. So there's lots of different touch points where it gets enabled, and I'll show that just now. But first, let's go to perhaps this activity here. This activity is on explaining a microprocessor. It's a reciprocal teaching exercise. So that's where learners give their own explanations of one of the course topics so far. And they go through the process of doing some additional research, identifying knowledge gaps, trying to come up with an analogy that might help others to understand it, and then sharing that back with the rest of the class. So this is again, a social interactive activity. And as you can see from this class, we have lots and lots of contributions here. And as a facilitator, I would love to be able to go through and respond to everything. I'd like one of the challenges of running a course like this is that once you have really engaged and eager learners, effectively facilitating the community to sustain their engagement is a really invaluable opportunity. And if you're striving to give the best possible experience, it can also become quite time intensive. So this is where this AI tool really comes in handy. So for example, Jeremy here has a post, and this post also has some comments on it. Um, uh, so and down further on the page, I think Jeremy has again posted his analogy as well. And if I wanted to, as a facilitator, write a comment here, I can write a comment directly on Jeremy's post. But let's say that I haven't had my coffee yet and I'm struggling to find the emotional wherewithal to come up with the right words. Then I can click the suggest comment button, and it comes up with a whole bunch of different suggestions as to how I might want to give feedback on Jeremy's post. So in Jeremy's post, he's actually made a comparison, an analogy about logic gates, which are these fundamental parts of how a computer works, being a bit like toll booths on a road. Like, so you have networks of roads with toll booths instructing cars what to do. And he said you could use that as an analogy for describing logic gates. And I think, hey, that's great. That's a great analogy. But perhaps I could keep the conversation going or give some feedback. For example, I could say, hey, let's let's get Jeremy to think about more deeply about their work by asking some reflective questions. And I can just click generate. I don't have to put anything else in there, and I can just see what it comes up with. And it's given me a suggestion as to what I might want to write here as a facilitator. Hi, Jeremy. I really enjoyed your analogy of logic gates as toll booths directing traffic. It's a creative and accessible way to explain how microprocessors work. Reflecting on it, how would you expand this analogy to include concepts of these other concepts? And if you had more time, how would you further refine and improve this analogy to make it even clearer? So you're keeping the conversation and discussion going on this topic and getting Jeremy to continue interacting. However, one of the things you might want to do is you might want to actually get the rest of the class to be involved in the discussion. And maybe you want to get the class to critique each other's. So we have this collaborative critique option that you might want to look at and experiment with. So in this option that you have, once it generates, thanks for your creative analogy, Jeremy. Engaging way to simplify a complex topic, but let's work together as a class to identify the strengths and areas for improvements. What do you think you did particularly well? What could be improved? Share your thoughts, give alternative analogies, etc. So you're now drawing the class in with this option. So you can choose different ways that you might want to engage with feedback on this contribution. It might just be that you want to give some praise and go through and make people, if you see something that is good, you can just quickly give some praise by clicking on that, celebrating the contribution, and says well done. So this is a big time saver, and of course you're in control. It's just giving you a suggestion. You can keep editing this and come up with the response that you want. But if you're going through as a facilitator looking at many examples of student work, then this can be like a really big time saver, helping you come up with the right words for keeping the community alive in your course. Also, perhaps some more examples. The comment threads on the page. So for example, this is quite a large page. It's got lots of interactive toys on it to describe quite a complex topic. Gets quite technical. But right down the end, there's a discussion on this page. We're talking about Moore's law, which, if you're familiar with, is about how the number of transistors in a computer seems to double every couple of years. And you see there's quite a lot of discussion on this page. And if I wanted to join in this discussion as a facilitator, I can suggest a comment here as well. And you'll see that this is a different set of suggestions that it's giving us now. This is more to do with facilitating a comment thread rather than giving feedback on a particular post. So in this situation, I might want to ask some open-ended questions, probe for deeper understanding, promote some peer teaching, etc. There's all sorts of different options here you can select from. So you can go, oh, this is what I'm looking for. In this case, perhaps Kevin's asking something quite technical about the manufacturing limits of transistors. So for this one, maybe I just want to add some expert insight to contribute to this conversation. And it will come up with some insightful contribution to that, which is saying, hey, research in this area is indeed exploring alternatives to traditional silicon-based transistors, for example, graphene and carbon nanotubes, and goes into details about a recent study and this sort of thing. So it gives you the groundwork for responding as a facilitator in lots of different ways to comment threads and speeding up the way that you might facilitate a course. Now, also, I think one of the things that I think is quite impressive about what we're doing here is that even if you have an activity where the contributions are not text, they might be an image contribution, such as in this one, they've actually shared an image or I mean, Kevin here is actually still text, but he's uploaded an image file here in terms of this. And if I wanted to give feedback on this, perhaps offer some insight about the strengths and suggestions, we'll see that the AI is able to actually interpret the image as well, and be able to give some identify some strengths, suggestions for improvement. And it says, hey, you upload an image, but you probably want some more visual aids in there rather than, the idea was to actually upload an image and perhaps give some more visual aid in terms of a diagram of what you're trying to achieve here. So it picked that up as well. So it's able to not only ingest text posts, but also the images and other media as well. So this is what we're currently working on in terms of being able to give feedback. Again, if there's like comment threads as well, and we reply to these comment threads, it gives us again the more comment thread relevant facilitation options as well within the posts themselves. So it's contextually enabled, and it gives quite useful suggestions based on a whole bunch of different approaches that you might want to use as a facilitator. So that's sort of a basic overview of this facilitation tool. And on these sort of text-heavy posts, it works quite well. I might try one more just as an example. Perhaps on this one, we might want to facilitate some debate. Let's see what happens here. Just try out lots of different options until we get one that we like. So Kevin suggests that the main lessons from his project is to never assume anything about what's hidden below. Drawing a parallel between gardening and coding. Do you agree with this? Why not? Let's debate this as a class. So you can start to sort of incite more interaction with the class as a whole as well as part of the feedback on this. So I hope that gives some insight as to what we're working on in terms of being able to more effectively facilitate these types of social activities that you might have, or even just the comment threads that you might have at the ends of the pages as well, to keep the discussion going in your course and to keep the community in your courses well facilitated and with lots of great opportunities to keep the conversation going, but with minimal effort, because the AI is helping you choose the right words, and you can select from lots of different ideas that are given to you contextually. All right. So moving on from the facilitation tool that I just showed off, I'd also like to show the AI course builder tools that Adam also mentioned earlier. These have been in the platform for some time now, and Adam was showing that there's been quite an uptick in their use. And but if you haven't seen them before, I'm going to create a course, brand new course on OpenLearning, which is cybersecurity for health providers, and it's setting that course up for me that I've just created. So I have this brand new course, absolutely nothing in it. And under the course design here, I have this course builder, which is completely AI enabled. And it's this top-down approach to building a course. One of the first things that I want to think about for this course, which is cybersecurity for health providers, is what is the course actually going to be about? Now, I could write in here what I think the course is going to be about. But before I do that, I perhaps want to see what the AI can give me as a suggestion. But before I do any of that, I'm going to set up all the course information that I want to give the AI course builder as sort of the initial inputs to what I'm trying to achieve here. The topic of the course is cybersecurity for health providers. The audience for the course, I'm going to say it's professionals in the health industry. 3 hours a week for 6 weeks. For the sake of being a bit more efficient with our time, I might just do it for perhaps a 4-week course. Just keep it a very short course, just so that we have time to demonstrate it. It's in English. We can generate in lots of different languages if we want to, and we can choose the sort of the tone that we want to have with this course as well. I think conversational tone is nice and neutral to start with. So let's go with that. So now we want to maybe generate this course objective. So what should this course be on? And I don't really know at this stage. I just want to see what the AI gives me. So I can just leave that blank and see what it comes up with. We'll let that generate. Okay, so here it's given me a nice statement to base the course off. And I can be like, okay, the goal of the cybersecurity for health providers course is to equip professionals in the health industry with essential knowledge and skills needed to protect sensitive health information from cyber threats. That sounds pretty reasonable. It aims to foster a comprehensive understanding of the unique cybersecurity challenges faced by the healthcare sector, and to promote the implementation of robust security measures that ensure patient data confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Sounds great to me. When students complete this course, they'll have reliably demonstrated a thorough grasp of fundamental principles of cybersecurity as they apply to healthcare environments, adept in identifying threats, vulnerabilities to health-specific information, effective security protocols and technologies, keen awareness of regulatory requirements, proactive attitudes, continuous learning. Sounds great. Like I'm just gonna go with this. But if I didn't like something in this, I could I could refine this, and I could give it further instructions on how to improve this, and it would give me a second draft. But for now, I'm just going to click keep. It puts it into this box, so I can edit it and fiddle with it if I want to give it my own touch. And then I'm going to save that objective and move on to the next step, which is to come up with the learning outcomes for this course. Now, these learning outcomes are specific statements that describe what the learner is going to be able to achieve at the end of the course. And the learning outcomes that I choose are going to guide how the course is created. So I have a whole bunch of different paradigms or methodologies that I can use in order to generate the outcomes for this course. I can also just add my own learning outcomes if I want to. If I have specific outcomes that I have in mind, I can add them to the list myself. And I describe the outcome here, and I give it a tag. Now, the tags in OpenLearning are used to align the outcomes to all the different activities in the course and all the different artifacts and things that are created by the learners in the class, and in order to be able to trace everything back to outcomes in the end. So it has this automatic alignment capability in it, and we use the outcome tags for that. But I'll get the AI to generate outcomes for me. I can, if I don't know what I want, I can just have some generic mix of things that it will come up with for me. But if I have a particular way of defining my outcomes in mind, for example, I might want to use Bloom's taxonomy, and I might want to, for example, have it so that we're using the higher order uh, levels of Bloom's taxonomy. I can use that to generate my learning outcomes and see what it comes up with. So for example, here it's suggested to analyze potential cyber threats and vulnerabilities to health information systems, evaluate the effectiveness of current security measures, create and implement robust security protocols, assess healthcare organization compliance, design and develop incident response plans, integrate a proactive approach to continuous learning. These sound great. I'm going to keep all of those. They all sound good. But I can suggest more based on a different type of methodology as well, whether that's like the solo taxonomy, but maybe I want to introduce more soft skills or social and emotional learning competencies, or something that's more project-based in terms of how it guides the course creation. So we have all these different approaches we can use. I think maybe let's add a couple in terms of soft skills, because we do like to have more effective courses as well in our teaching. Um, effective communication, active listening, time management, negotiation skills, storytelling, compassion and empathy. Perhaps from these ones, we can add perhaps some presentation skills, and maybe effective communication and leadership skills. All right, we'll keep those three as additional outcomes and adds them to our list. And of course, if I want to refine any of these myself, I can click the edit button and edit the specific wording or the tags as I see fit, and customize this until I have all the learning outcomes that I think deserve to be in this course. And then once that's the case, I can go on to the next step and be like, okay, I've now got what this course is about. I've got all my learning outcomes sorted out. Let's come up with the actual structure of the course. And this is the modules that I was showing before. So if you have a look at it, this pre-existing course that I showed before, this has a whole bunch of different modules in it. Module 0, Module 1, Module 2, and each of these modules has all the different activities in it. Back to our cybersecurity course. What we have is no modules yet in our course. There's nothing here. So we need to add some. But we can get the AI to suggest a course structure for us, or again, we can just add our own if we have some specific ones in mind. Let's get the AI to suggest some for us. And there's a whole bunch of different methodologies we can use in order to come up with the structure of the course. Perhaps we have an existing curriculum that we want to just paste in here and go with that. Perhaps there are certain competencies that need to be focused on, and we can place those in here and get the AI to generate it based on that. Maybe we would just want to do it subject by subject, keep it simple. Or perhaps we want to organize this around particular themes or overarching topics that group together the different ways that we approach each module. Thematic might be a good way to go for this one. And I can give it further description as to what I'm looking for specifically, or I can just let it rip and see what it comes up with itself. So we'll do that and we'll see what it comes up with. It's coming up with each module, all the topics, all the outcomes as they align to each module. So it can take, a couple of seconds just to work out how to do that generation. Okay. And this is what it's come up with in terms of the structure of the course that we might want to build. So it's come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 modules. That's quite a few modules. If I don't like that, I can put in exactly how many modules I want it to come up with. And you'll see here that it's also aligned all the different learning outcomes to these different modules as well. So it shows you which these modules sort of like focus on these particular learning outcomes. And it also shows the topics that it's going to cover in each of these modules. The first module is on understanding cyber threats in healthcare. Gives a nice description of this module. Introduces learners to unique cyber threats and vulnerabilities specific to health information systems. Learners will develop the ability to analyze these threats. So these are the topics. And again, it goes through, and here's one on evaluating security measures, creating robust security protocols, etc., etc. So it's come up with a fairly reasonable approach to this course. I think I can also, again, for all of these generations, I can give it suggestions as to what I like or don't like. For example, I could say there's too many modules. I'd like there to be only 5. And we can refine that and see if it does better in the second go. And give it a second to process that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's given me 5 modules. Now it's like group some of these outcomes together and has a module that covers a few more topics and reduce the number of modules. So you can just tell it exactly what you want to do, or you can keep this. And once you keep this, you can then edit each of these and customize it however you like, align it to different learning outcomes, change the topics, change the description, or how long you think each module might take. But I'm happy with this, so I'm going to move on to the module content now. So in here, we have the first module, Understanding Cyber Threats in Healthcare. And of course, I can add my own pages to this if I have specific activities or ways that I want to design this course in mind. But if I don't, I can get some suggestions from the AI generator. And this is the module that we're generating. So I can further edit that, or I can just say, go for it. And for each module, there's again another set of frameworks we can use based off a lot of the pedagogical patterns that we see people use on the platform. So for example, for this one, this is actually the first module of the course. So maybe a course introduction module would be the right pattern to use here. But there's lots of others that we can choose from for other modules. So you can base it on a historical progression or timeline across this module, or focus on inquiry-based learning, or do something more experiential with experimentation and reflection using Kolb's model, or do problem or project-based learning approaches to this module. There's lots of different things you could choose in terms of how you want it to design and scaffold this particular module of the course. So for this one, let's just choose the course introduction module. And I don't think we need to describe anything. We can just see what it comes up with. But again, that's always an option. If you have ideas in mind, you can put in some dot points, put in some notes that you might have, and see what it comes up with based on your own inputs as well. Now, give that some time to churn. And it's thinking really hard about this one. And we'll see later as well that we can continue editing these and adding more AI generated content to it later as well. So we'll be covering that after this and showing how once you've generated a course, or if you have an existing course, you can use our other generation tools on existing content as well. It's taking a long time. And the other thing as well is that, like, if it is taking a long time, you can go and get a coffee and come back later. You can even just reload the page and see where it's up to. You can close this, come back later. You don't have to have this open as it's generating. And if you think that perhaps it might have gotten stuck, because the thing about AI, generative AI, is that it is sometimes unpredictable. Sometimes it comes back with, it's a roll of the dice sometimes in terms of what it does, and maybe it doesn't give what we're expecting. So it might not be working exactly. But we can also go to one of these other modules and generate a second module as well while we're waiting. We can go and, for example, this second module on evaluating and creating security measures, perhaps we can do this one on a conceptual framework. We'll see what happens as this one generates as well. This one's now finished. So the first module has finished generating, and you'll see that it's actually come up with thumbnail images for all the different module suggestions as well. So you don't even have to think of thumbnail images. It'll automatically generate them with AI as well. So this is what, I'll just keep this because it looks pretty good, and then we'll go through it. So it says that this starting module, understanding cyber threats in healthcare, starts off with just a welcome page, welcoming you to the course, sets the scene for the course by highlighting the impact of cyber threats, and encourages learners to adopt a proactive mindset towards learning. And then we have an icebreaker activity to get to know each other in the course. As you can see, like that, we often do that in these courses in order to make sure the first interactions between learners is to contribute to the course so that they get into the practice of doing so, break the ice. And then here is an overview of cyber threats. And then we have an activity. You can see that this is some content and an activity which will explore vulnerabilities specific to healthcare, such as outdated software, weak access controls, etc., and suggest mitigation strategies. So on this one, we can edit this page plan, and we can, if we wanted to further align it to, if it hasn't aligned it to particular learning outcomes, we can do that. Highlighting the impact of security threats. Let's select the learning outcome for that one. For this one, we can say that we might want to select some learning outcomes for effective communication because it's an icebreaker. For this one, we can, this is doing some real world case studies on cyber threats. So evaluating security measures, perhaps, and vulnerabilities. We can add some learning outcomes here as well. Etc. And if we wanted to then go a step further and actually just generate the whole page, we can do that as well. So for example, let's generate a couple of these pages. We'll generate the page content for the welcome page to the course. But perhaps more interesting would be to generate one of the activities as well. So what does it come up with here? It's actually generating an activity for the welcome page for the course. Give it a second to process. And you can see here that it's added all those pages to the navigation already with all the different pretty thumbnail images. We haven't generated the other modules yet. And here it is. Welcome to Cybersecurity for Health Providers. It has a welcome message, introduction to the course, what we'll explore in this course, why it matters, has some real world examples, what you'll learn in this course, analyzing healthcare threats, pros and cons, and then yeah, we can work with that. It gives us a great starting point for for this. And of course, I can again give it further instructions to continue refining this as a draft, or I can just save it straight to the page. And now that's ready to go, and I can edit this just like any other OpenLearning page with the widget editing system and start customizing the content as I need to based on this AI generated first draft. Again, in the uh, course builder, if we go back to generating perhaps this activity looks interesting. A discussion activity is share their thoughts on vulnerabilities and suggest mitigation strategies. So we can get it to generate that activity for us. And of course, I don't have to just click the generate button straight away. I can put down some dot points, some further ideas, give it further guidance as to how I might want it to generate this activity. Or I can do what I'm doing here and just say, come up with your best idea, and then I can continue refining it based on what it's generated. Let it run. And while it's doing that, I'll go back to perhaps this other activity here that we've already generated. This one here. For argument's sake, let's say that I wanted to put a further activity on this page, or I wanted to generate some additional content to put on this page. You'll see that I actually have when I edit any page on OpenLearning, I have access to generative AI activity and content generators as well here. So for example, if I wanted to append on to this page an activity, I can click on this button and I can go through all our different activity design patterns as well. So here's a whole bunch of uh, pedagogical patterns that we've collected that the AI knows how to generate interactive activities on OpenLearning based on these patterns. So different types of icebreakers, ways to practice the technique, or do some different types of role plays, different types of sharing activities, etc. So if you're unfamiliar with OpenLearning, this is a great way to start because it will show you how to arrange all the different widgets in lots of different ways so that you can pair together post widgets with different showcases and galleries and put them together in a full activity based on your topic or what you're trying to achieve on a particular activity. And it will build it all for you and show you how the platform works as well. And again, with adding content to pages, you can add content sections, whether it's an analogy, a case study, how-to guides, perhaps some sort of mathematical topic or content with formulas, storytelling, worked examples, and all the rest of it. So there's all sorts of different things it knows how to generate and to add to the page as well. Go back and see if it's generated this activity. So as you can see here, as it's generated this activity, I'm just going to save this to the page quickly so I can edit it. But this activity that it's created, it's got a whole bunch of intro to the activity, talks about the different concepts involved, weak access controls, high value of health data. It gives you a case study on a healthcare information system breach. It's a real world example, 2015 Atham Inc. data breach, one of the largest healthcare breaches in history. This is what happened. Here's some detail about it. And a question, what steps can healthcare providers take to mitigate this risk? And then it has a whole bunch of different information about it. And now here's an activity. Think about a time in your professional career when you encountered a cybersecurity vulnerability specific to the healthcare industry. Describe the situation and the type of vulnerability you faced, and what were the potential risks associated with this vulnerability, and how did it impact the organization. So this is automatically put in. If I go into editing mode, you can see here that it's automatically put in all these sections, which of course are editable. But here I can change the setup of how these different interaction widgets that the AI has put in for you might want to work, but it's set up the activity fully for you using all these interactive widgets. So it's a ready-to-go activity. The learners can go in here, contribute straight away. They'll see their posts appear here. It's got another bit where you can summarize your key learnings, etc. So it's put in place like a whole activity for you built on the platform out of our widget authoring system. So I think that gives a good overview of sort of like the top-down course design process. And this is like, I haven't put very much thought into this. If I put a bit more thought into it and I guided the AI a bit more, if I was an expert in the field, I could get even more value out of this by essentially telling it exactly what I'm looking for. But as someone who's just clicked through all the buttons, I've got a pretty good starting point here in terms of what it's able to generate in terms of activities and a rather convincing start of a course. And like I mentioned before, if you're editing the page and you want to add more content to the page, you can just throw some things in here and tell it what to generate, and it will add those to the page as well as you're editing it. So after you've generated the course, you can keep playing with it, keep adding activities. Again, I can add a second activities page if I wanted to, or you can create a blank page and just try out all these different activity patterns as well. All right, I think that might be all we have time for in terms of the demonstration of our AI features. But as you can see, this is a really big time saver, and we'll be looking to have those facilitation tools that I demonstrated earlier available sometime early next year as well for everyone on the platform. So yeah, that's how we're currently progressing with the AI in the platform. And you'll notice that also that it's not we haven't gone the chatbot approach with this. We've integrated it quite closely with the platform, and the AI does have full awareness of how the platform works and which widgets it can put in pages and how it can hook all of that together. So it's very much aware of how the platform works, how to format all the content, and how to put together a course on OpenLearning specifically. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. That was excellent. And we're very happy to take questions now as well. So if anyone has been answering some questions in the chat while David has been presenting, but feel free to continue asking questions here, and we can read some of them out. There was one question that came through that we answered, which was from Diana, asking if you generate a course, then modify specific information for the next generation of a course that is similar with another of your customers, could the content be shared? The answer to that is no, the content would not be shared at all. There's a few reasons for that. One is that in OpenLearning, we don't share content between different customers unless those customers request for that content to be shared in the first place. But with the AI tools, all the data and information generated does not go back into any training set for the large language models. So it all stays separate. So there's no risk of that occurring.
That's right. So once you click the button and the content comes back to you in OpenLearning, after that, everything that you've told the AI, it no longer knows about. So it only uses the context of what is being sent on the page at the time, or the context of the rest of the course that's sent to it at the time. It doesn't store anything or use anything for further training or learn from what you've given it. The AI facilitation feature is not currently available. I enabled the prototype just on this for the demo, but we're looking to keep testing it and have something ready by early next year.
Yeah, that's right. So we're in the process of finalizing the AI feedback and facilitation tools. And yeah, our plan is to make it available to all the facilitators in OpenLearning. You don't have to use it. It doesn't do anything automatically, but the button will be there. So we're just working out the best way of making it available to everyone, and then we will do that. Great. Well, we're very happy to continue answering questions. We do have a break scheduled now for 20 minutes to give everyone a bit of a rest. But we'll be online during this time, so feel free to post your questions in the chat, and we'll be answering them. There's a couple more that have come through. Do you have a mobile app as well? We do have native mobile apps in iOS and Android, so iPhone, iPad, and Android apps as well. And there's also a question about the maintenance fees. I presume that would be sort of the cost of using the platform and the AI tools. These AI tools are all included in OpenLearning, so there's no additional cost for them. For the OpenLearning platform, we'll share a link to the website, and we're very happy to chat to our team. But it's a very simple software as a service model. And based on the number of students that you have in your courses, you just pay an annual fee to use the platform that includes everything that we have. So yeah, we may take a short break, and I look forward to seeing you back here in about 20 minutes or so. Meanwhile, we'll probably be online answering any questions that come up. So thank you, everyone. I look forward to seeing you again shortly.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. Nice
Hey,
to
good
see you
morning.
here today. So I'd like to welcome you to the next session we have, which is our panel discussion on what's next with AI, e-learning, and corporate L&D. So this is going to be quite an exciting session. I think there's always a lot in our mind on what to do with AI and how it applies to the real world. And today we're going to look at, the ways in which AI is being used and some of the opportunities and challenges we're facing. So the title and the topic of today's discussion is going to be Exploring the Future of Learning with What's Next, AI, e-learning, and corporate L&D. The panel will dive into how AI is transforming both e-learning and workplace learning, offering insights into emerging trends, powerful AI tools, and the potential impact on learner engagement and program efficiency. So I'm really excited today to be joined by 4 esteemed panelists. So today we've got Cherie Diaz, who is the Executive Director of Education Innovation at Western Sydney University in Australia. We have Andrew Napier, who is the Principal Consultant at Learning Plan. Then I'm also joined by Freddie Teo, the Head of National Center for Excellence in Workplace Learning at Temasek Polytechnic. And I'm also joined by FT, the Senior Executive Vice President, Group Human Capital at Maybank Group. So I'm really honored to welcome all of our participants here today. Thank you very much for joining me. What we're going to do now is we're going to start off with a short introduction from each of our panelists. So we each have about 3 to 4 minutes each. And I'd like you to introduce yourselves and share a bit about your thoughts on what's happening in AI and corporate learning and anything else you'd like to share as well. So I think I might start off with Cherie Diaz. So Cherie, welcome today. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Adam, and thanks for having me. Really looking forward to today's discussion. So my role at Western Sydney University was created 2.5 years ago to head up our education innovation initiatives and primarily looking at how do we help create market relevant and market leading learning experiences for lifelong learners. And that involves both the micro-credentials that we develop as well as our programs and the learning experience that is enabled as part of that. Everything from market insights, the way we design, develop and deliver our learning experiences, whether that's a once-off upskilling, micro-credential, or a full program and supported pathways for students. I guess for relevance to the topic today, I think what I've found most interesting, particularly over the last 18 months, is the different ends of the spectrum that perceptions of the value and challenges that AI, particularly Gen AI, is presenting, but also some great exemplars as to how to test and pilot and embed AI, whether that's from enhancing the design and development process or providing flexibility and support for learners as well. And I might leave it there for now.
Well, thank you, Cherie. Wonderful. And now I might go to FT. Welcome today. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is FT. Obviously, that's just a acronym for my first name. I'm currently the Senior Executive Vice President at Group Human Capital for the Maybank Group. Maybank is Malaysia's largest banking group. We are present in 20 different countries, primarily in the Southeast Asia region. But we have offices in Dubai, in London, in New York, in Hong Kong, in China, etc., etc. My function primarily look at human capital strategy, transformation, and organizational effectiveness, which obviously includes talent, which includes rewards, which includes learning. The relevance for today's topic obviously is potentially we'll be talking later a little bit about what we have done in terms of enhancing our learning and development practice within the group, as well as piloting some of the technology platforms that we have, which also includes AI, Gen AI, and other technology platforms as well, with the rapidly changing environment in the financial services industry, particularly in the space of the disintermediation of the industry. As you can imagine, banking is nothing more than a trading platform, right? So we technically borrow to lend, technically, and then we charge anything in between, either interest, margins, and a fee. But that has changed quite tremendously with fintech and so on and so forth, where capital goes directly to customers or to clients now. So to ensure that we stay relevant, skills need to be changed as well. The understanding and the capability of our legacy competencies need to change quite rapidly. And with technology, we can hopefully close this gap quickly. So happy to be here and looking forward to a productive discussion ahead.
Thank you, FT. Thanks for joining us. I might go now to Freddie. Over to you, Freddie.
Hi, thanks, Adam, for having me here. Okay, and thank you for joining us today. Okay, my name is Freddie Teo, and I am the head of the National Center of Excellence for Workplace Learning. So in our institution, okay, we help corporates develop and implement robust workplace learning capabilities through a structured training framework, which we adapted from the Swiss and the German models. So our goal is to ensure that companies not only acquire necessary skills for their employees, but also retain them over time. So this would help them resolve talent and skills retention challenges in support of business growth. So the corporate learning and development, which is the L&D landscape, is evolving rapidly as companies prioritize upskilling and reskilling to adapt to changing market demands, technological advancements, and employee expectations. So AI-powered data analytics platforms such as skills profiling platform, whether you heard of this software called JobCred or JobTech, enable L&D programs to offer personalized learning experiences which cater to individual skills gap and career pathway. So employees are often given tailored recommendations based on their role and express interests. And also with the rise of the remote work, companies are investing heavily in digital learning for employees. This includes online courses such as OpenLearning, virtual classrooms, and learning management system that allows employees to access learning material anytime, anywhere. And microlearning or bite-sized learning is popular as it fits into employees' busy schedules and enhances knowledge retention. And I'm also aware that the soft skills like communications, problem solving, emotional intelligence, and adaptability are increasingly seen as critical for success, especially in leadership and customer-facing roles. So leadership development programs are expanding, with companies aiming to build a pipeline of future leaders by equipping them with the necessary soft and strategic skills. So I see a shift towards a skills-based training is evident over the role-based training or learning, where L&D focuses on building critical skills rather than training only for specific roles. So this approach is more flexible and allows employees to be agile in their careers. And many companies are also adopting a blend of in-person and online learning, known as blended learning. This approach leverages the best of both worlds, the digital learning for flexibility and scalability, and in-person session for interactive and hands-on training. And virtual and augmented reality like VR, AR are also emerging tools, particularly for industries requiring complex hands-on training such as healthcare and manufacturing. So companies are recognizing that L&D is not just about skills acquisition, it's also a key driver of employee satisfaction and retention. So programs like that support career growth and personal development enhance the overall employee experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Freddie. Andrew, welcome.
Thanks, Adam. It's really nice to be here. I'm a principal consultant with a company called Learning Plan. We're based in Sydney, but spread out across the world. I'm fortunately living in Tasmania. We have a team in Sydney, and we also have a team in the Philippines. And we're very much an organisational development learning company, and really the type of work that we do is very much we'll take on pretty much any task if it has a learning feel to it. We're currently working in a lot of digital transformation, and in fact we're tying ourselves into OpenLearning with one of the particular projects which we've had a lot of success with a revamping an organization's digital platform. We are involved in change management and with design and management and creating organizational competency frameworks, learning design and development, and then also facilitation of programs. I used to work for OpenLearning, and I feel very, very tied to the company. I feel I really enjoy using the platform and have a nice, strong family connection with Adam and his team. I represent the Australian Institute of Training and Development in Tasmania. I'm a member of the Divisional Council for Victoria and Tasmania, and currently working on an industry-wide competency framework for the learning industry. I also deliver the e-learning suite of courses to a broad range of audiences, including the AFP on the OpenLearning platform. With regards to AI, very excited about it. I was in EduTech Asia conference last week in Singapore, a couple of weeks ago in Singapore, and kind of blown away by the opportunity and the developments that are happening in AI. In fact, it was very, very difficult to find a session that didn't have the two letters AI in it, because that's where everyone is thinking. It was pretty exciting. And one of the things that I'm pretty focused on at the moment is basically aggregating all of the different possible tools and evaluating to see how they can be used in learning design and development for the different projects, and just assuming that there's not a one size fits all for a lot of those tools. So that's my passion. We're about to run a research project on exactly that over the next sort of the first quarter of 2025. That's me. I'm happy to talk further as this conversation goes.
Thanks, Andrew. So thank you, everyone. Now we've got a few questions that we'll want to get through, and then we're going to open it up for Q&A with the audience as well. So if anything does come to your mind while we're talking, please post in the Q&A or in the chat, and then we will get to it shortly.
Macam saya, ada satu yang saya dapat macam ni tau.
someone is, there we go. Okay, now I wanted to get started by digging into skills and learning and development. And we want to start off with a question around the current landscape of skills and L&D in relation to AI. I think there's, as Andrew said, and Freddie and Shui and FT, I mean, AI is on everyone's mind at the moment. I think everywhere you go, everyone's talking about AI, and that can be both exciting, but also sometimes a bit annoying. So I think we want to ensure that we're looking at something practical today. So if we look at the current landscape of skills and L&D, and sort of whether the sentiment is, I guess, supportive or resistant to AI and the adoption of AI within people's careers and in the industry. So maybe we'll start off with FT on this one. I mean, how do you see the current landscape of skills in relation to AI? And are you seeing acceptance or resistance to AI adoption within the industry? Or how should we look at this at the moment?
Okay, thank you, Adam. Let's I will quickly echo what you said earlier, right? It is both exciting and annoying, most of the time annoying, rather, to be honest. Because every single conference that you go to, every single webinar, including this one, is talking about AI. Interestingly, my view is, why are we talking about AI to start off fundamentally, if we are not even maximizing our organic intelligence? I call it RI, real intelligence. When we are trying to replicate our intelligence artificially, interestingly, and by and large, leadership development says authenticity is a key attribute to leadership. Yet we are trying to make it artificial. So let's start off with my view on that one first before we get but I'm a believer, don't get me wrong. I'm a believer that augmentation and amplification of our delivery outcomes should be in tandem and in parallel with technology, be it AI or any other types of technology. But obviously now AI is the talk of town. But interestingly, AI is not very, very new. Even Gen AI is not very new, right? Previously, I was from Samsung. I was there for 3 years. And if any of you are Samsung users, you will have an AI or a equivalent to a Siri in an iPhone or in the Apple ecosystem, or an Alexa in Amazon. So we have Bixby in Samsung. And that has been in existence in 25 years ago. So Gen AI is not very new, but it becomes democratized now, obviously because of accessibility, because of cost, and so on and so forth, which is a great thing. To answer your question simply is there acceptance or resistance? I don't think there is acceptance or resistance, but there is a certain uncertainty about it. Simply because of, number one, lack of awareness, or number two, a gap in understanding. Number three is, if they understand and aware, how can I use it? The ability to use, it's still to a certain extent in its infancy. Now, I'm saying it from a Malaysia context and from the ASEAN context, right? Notwithstanding, Freddie is from Singapore, with Singapore, overall the ecosystem is a little more advanced, or in Australia, perhaps the ecosystem, the understanding is a little bit more advanced. But in the majority of the ASEAN economies, including Malaysia, you're saying countries like, in Thailand or in Vietnam, or to a bigger extent in the more challenged economies like Laos and Myanmar, etc., the gap is still massive. So before we get into acceptance or resistance, I think people don't know whether to accept or resist because they have no idea what it is in the first place and how to use it, right? And in the context of L&D, now I probably go back to the industry that I'm in. I've been to many industries, so banking is where I'm currently. I am currently, but technology was where I was previously. The difference is stark, because if you're from a tech space, obviously this is totally nothing new. It is about how to maximize the utilization and how to partner with AI, with technology, to help us learn better. And at the end of it is not the learning as a process. What is the outcome of the learning, right? Do you bring the requisite delivery? Is it the speed? Is it the volume? Is it an uplift in any shape, way, or form? So if I can summarize this in the end is, I think there is still a distance to go in terms of ensuring that, number one, organizations and companies are investing, right? They are not just jumping on the bandwagon and buy and purchase and onboard just another platform. And when it comes in, it's not integrating well with the reality of what the customer require or what the market needs in the context of the organization. Number two, after we have invested in it, if we have invested in it, then how do we then leverage on it intelligently? That's when the resistance comes in a bit, because we spend, a decent amount of investment in it. And now what do we do with it? Interestingly, and I've seen it in multiple organizations now, when you onboard a platform, AI or otherwise, when insufficient change management is done, it's not just the skilling, it's managing the change around. You have a new thing, and this new thing has to be used to deliver certain things, right? Some outcomes and some deliverables. The majority of people are uncertain about, when do I use it? How do I use it? Can I trust it? And so on and so forth. So from a learning perspective we are already building it in. Most of it is not in the design of the curriculum. Most of it is the identification of the learning needs, rather than people volunteering saying, this is what I want to go, but there is a suggestion. It's almost like feeds, right? But there's nothing new. Everyone is having it in your Google feed, in your Instagram, in your LinkedIn. It's very customized. The content is very customized. So that's what we have been using it for now, in terms of identification and ring fencing what kind of learning you are. But the worry that we have, that I personally have, is if we ring fence it too much, or we rely on AI too much, then we become a bit too dependent on it. And then, the word that I use is we outsource our brains to a technology. So when you outsource the brain, you will lose the capability in the end. So that's some of the challenges that I'm facing, that we are all facing in the market, at least from a Malaysian context. So I'll leave it at that first. I'm really happy and looking forward to some of the other views from the other areas of the region, because I'm quite sure the reality is maybe a little bit different.
Thanks, FT. That's really interesting, actually. And I had a thought in my mind as you were speaking, which is that we're using AI in terms of training and L&D for the purpose of training on many different subject areas or many different types of skills. But one of the common areas where people are doing upskilling at the moment is actually AI itself. And I wonder if in this area, if there is any concern from employees who are upskilling themselves in AI as to whether they will be replaced by AI, and if that causes some apprehension in the sort of upskilling and L&D area at the moment, because I think some people may be concerned if they're outsourcing their intelligence or their brain to AI, or they become dependent on it, are they totally protected from these changes? So I think this is an interesting area we can look at. Shiri, did you want to add anything on this topic?
Yeah, sure. I might start with where you've left off. I definitely think there is concerns in different areas or different roles about the use of AI that need to be considered from a learning development perspective. There's a couple of reports I'll add to the chat section as we go, but one of those, I'll start outside of education, is a study and a piece of work that was done out of the University of Technology, Sydney, which looked at perceptions and use cases in industries like care and health, as an example. And there is a need when you're planning where and when to use AI as to what is the concerns or the fears that are likely to come up from a human perspective as to the impact on their role, and supporting person through that change process, as well as the skills development needed as well. And I think what from the organizations that I deal with, either from an industry consultation or the different roles that I have, as well as within the university itself, I think the key consistent message that comes through is the eagerness to use AI to help enhance ways of working, to streamline processes, and to free people up to actually spend more time on the value add and the human connectedness side of their work is the driver for engaging with AI in most instances. But it's the how do we build that reassurance in the process so that people are curious and happy to test and play and engage with AI in itself. From a learning and development perspective, and I am fortunate in my role at the university to be part of the Business Council of Australia Skills Education and Migration Committee, which has a great connectedness to a number of large and small employers, is that one of the key challenges is what training for who, and how do we engage in a way that we're setting people up for success, but also how frequently are we going to need to help them upskill? And that's, I think, one of the challenges that Andrew is looking to do in that research is what tools and technology are we using when, and how do we prioritize it? And then I guess the other element that tends to come through in the conversations is, are we actually stopping doing things? Because quite often we layer on tools and technology as well. So they're probably the key threads or trends that I'll pull on there. The last thing I will say to FT is the comment you made about, your insights being ASEAN specific may not be as relevant in Australia. They're definitely relevant from an Australian context perspective. And one of the, I'm fortunate to work with one of the Jobs and Skills Councils, which looks after training package development in Australia. So the Future Skills Organisation looks after finance, business and technology training packages for vocational education. And they've done a great amount of work over the last few years on developing the Australian Digital Capability Framework, which is a starting point for how do we map digital literacy and capability skills. But when we look at that being rolled at a point where even to determine someone's digital literacy or capability level, and then add AI skill development over the top of it, there is definitely a lot of work to be done to support all levels of the population in digital literacy and capability. But importantly, as part of that is, what is that scaffolded support process that we're using in practice? And I might stop there.
Thanks, Sheree. It's quite insightful. And I think, Andrew, I guess you can probably pick up on some of what Sheree has mentioned there, particularly around some of your experiences and insights developing programs and courses for a range of industries. So it'd be great to learn what your experiences have shown us there as well.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. FT, I agree with you that AI is not new, and that we can just touch it, and we were able to manipulate tools, AI-based tools, and feel like we're in charge a little bit more than having sort of predictive text happening and all that sort of stuff. But I do agree with you. I find it really exciting. I was at a meeting at LinkedIn last week, and they basically, it was all about AI and who's using it, how they're using it. And in the room of about 30 or 40 people, they were asked who's using AI in the learning and development industry or business, and where are you at with it? And so there was probably about 50 or 60% of people who were not yet using it effectively or very much at all. And that, that would be almost to the level of using ChatGPT to create some writing or something like that. Another sort of 30% have adopted it and using it quite well. And then very few people in the room were actually, had implemented a lot of systems and processes in their work or what they were doing that were AI based. Where was I going to go with that? So I think that over the past 6 months, it's really interesting that 6 months ago, if you produced something that was AI, as a result of an AI tool, and people were very suspicious of it. Now it's an assumption that it is part of the work that we do, and working with a higher education organisation in Australia. We're developing the competency framework, and they are assuming that there's a whole lot of different activities and different competencies that are going to almost be sort of submerged by the use of AI and not necessarily needing to be defined, because we'll be doing them in a different way. So that was an interesting take on it. Recently reading in the news that there's a hardware chain in Australia that has been using facial recognition for checking people who might be violent in the store or might be shoplifting in the store, and there's this huge uproar about that privacy. But we're currently part of the implementation of an AI enhanced drowning detection system for swimming pools, and so basically using the cameras within an aquatic centre to measure, is that person drowning or are they just swimming really badly? So we're part of that.
Yeah. Andrew, the point you made about the lower level competencies though is great, because one of the challenges or one of the discussions we're having at the university is how do we still develop the same level of higher order critical thinking skills when we have to work out a different process to get there than what our academic staff are used to. That's how they got there.
Yeah. I actually fear it in myself that the more I use AI technology to do my work, am I saying goodbye to some of the skills that I once had, or am I degrading some of those skills? And so I am actually purposely playing in both spaces. So if I'm writing using AI and then pairing it back to what it works, then that's fantastic. But then again, I'll spend some time writing just to sort of maintain that art. So it's an interesting, and it's a transition perhaps, but it's interesting where we're going with it.
Yeah.
Is that your thoughts, FT?
Yeah, I think last week I was at a discourse among industry leaders, HR industry leaders specifically, and our concern were threefold. Number one is AI, that was the question that was being put on the table. Is AI making us lazy? This is from a physical laziness kind of thing, right? Secondly, is it making us lazy from a thought? What Cherise was talking earlier about is the higher order skills, thinking skills specifically. It's now going to be dissipated at a accelerated rate. Thirdly is, would certain jobs be replaced? And our view in that particular forum was, we may lose, jobs may be lost, right? To be fair, jobs will be lost. Particularly those that are repetitive and redundant and so on. Even middle order jobs may be lost. Higher order jobs maybe not yet, but there's potential to do it. But we all agree that jobs may be lost, but employment may not be lost, because people need to change the way they do their jobs. Therefore, they move from one job to another job. How to use technology rather than be replaced by it. So employment shouldn't be lost. But jobs, you must be ready for it to be changed, to be transformed in another way. But I like, what you said, Andrew, that, play in both space, because if you do not continue to polish, hone, even writing skills, as simple as writing skills, if you stop writing, you will lose it. If you stop thinking, God forbid, you will lose some, rationality in terms of logic, in terms of whatever other thinking capability that we are currently so proud of. As I mentioned earlier, when we outsource that out, and we'll stop doing it because we are so dependent and reliant on somebody doing it or something doing it for us. And we said that we don't have to do it anymore because, well, I can just, point it off as my own and just said, well, that's mine, which is the underlying overlay at the end is this integrity of thought. Would you just say that this is mine because I partner with AI when 90% of the work is done not by you, but by somebody else or by something else. Yeah, so that is something that we need to think about, the ethical considerations of using technology, but more importantly, it's the existential consequence of using technology.
Great points. Just welcome back, everyone. I just wanted to apologize. It looks like Zoom crashed there for a bit, but we've all joined back now. We're continuing the discussion. It looks like everyone's now rejoining as well. So the session has been recorded, so we will combine the recordings together and make sure everything fits together well. So thanks for coming back with us. We're having a great discussion here. Maybe now I wanted to jump to Freddie and get your input on a couple topics here. In particular, I think there's always a lot of talk about upskilling and corporate L&D, and many of us are from large organizations and have worked with a lot of large organizations. Obviously Maybank, Samsung, Microsoft, LinkedIn. These are all very large companies, and they have a lot of resources for upskilling and reskilling their staff. And but the majority of the economy actually is the SMEs, the small medium enterprises. And I think this is an area where we're particularly interested in, how do we work with SMEs, or what challenges do SMEs have in actually upskilling and reskilling their staff? So maybe if you could share your thoughts on this area with us as well.
Okay, thanks, Adam. For the differentiation from this SME and the mega or MNC corporations, right? I think there are a few factors. The first factor would be the resources that each organization has, and also the accessibility to the AI and the technology advancement. And thirdly would be the learning interest, especially on the experience and the diversity of each organization could be different. Meaning the global workforce within the MNC and the workforce within the SME could be different. So I think the challenges, majority will face the same challenges. Can give you some challenges that from the lenses of the supply side, because I'm an institution, we offer courses to these corporates. So okay, the key challenges in corporate L&D would be more towards ROI. Okay, how we measure ROI, how do we gauge the effectiveness of the training programs. Okay, many organizations now struggles to measure the direct impact of L&D programs on business outcomes. So without the clear metrics, it's challenging to demonstrate the return on ROI for the training initiatives, and making it difficult to justify the continuing investment in the L&D budgets. Okay. The second challenges, I think, should be more on the relevancy. Okay. In a rapidly changing business environment, especially with technological advancement, the L&D content can quickly become outdated. So companies face increasing difficulties in ensuring that this material reflect the latest trends or even the latest tools and skills needed to stay competitive. Yeah, be it big or small organizations. And the third one will be the scalability. Or the scalability with the person. While personalized learning is the path to go, which tailored to individual needs, and it's very, very highly effective. Okay, but they can be difficult to scale across the entire organization, especially for the larger ones. Yeah. So balancing the need for tailored learning experiences with the efficiency of the reach and scalability of this solution, right, is a major challenge. And maybe number 4 will be the motivation of the employee. Here, encouraging employees to actively engage with these training programs can be difficult, particularly in the context of online learning or the discipline part. Many employees struggle with motivation and ensuring that training is compelling, interactive, and aligned with their career goal is a consistent challenge. Maybe lastly will be the rapid technological advancement. This fast-paced evolution of technology requires L&D programs to continuously adapt. So employers need to upskill, reskill their employees in new tech and new tools, but the speed of change often outpaces the ability to develop an effective training solution that keeps employees current. So of course, all are not lost. So addressing all these challenges requires a combination of strategy, innovation, and data-driven insights to create effective and agile and engaging L&D programs. That's my view. Thank you.
Thanks, Freddie. Would anyone like to jump in there as well?
Yeah, I might jump in from a Western Sydney perspective. So for those that aren't as familiar with Western Sydney, we are the most diverse multicultural region in Australia. We are also one of the fastest growing from an economic and population perspective. But within that, we have very different needs across Greater Western Sydney, and one of the largest proportions of small to medium businesses in the country. And it is always at the front of our mind when we're developing particularly skilling or reskilling programs as to how do we provide as much support and access as possible, you know, from the delivery mode through to the price point in order to be able to meet the needs of our community. I think a couple of elements that stand out and align with what Freddie has said is that for me, we don't, well, many people don't lack access to education. Often the challenge is, what is the right learning experience for me to meet my needs at this point in time? So it's, do I know what I need to be skilling in or upskilling? Is it affordable? Is it available when I need it? But also, what is that guidance that we're able to provide along that path, where it's an individual employee or the employer looking, how do I make the most of where I'm investing my money to support my staff? A couple of initiatives that are either emerging or in train at the moment from a local perspective are things like the New South Wales Digital Skills and Workforce Compact, which is looking at how, from a state-based perspective, are we able to work across education, employer, government, and broader industry to meet the forecasted skills gap or skilled employer gap of 80,000 staff in digital roles by 2030. So that has a whole range of initiatives. Two in particular are directly focused on digital traineeships and reskilling programs. And it's been great to see those collaborations across employers, across different education providers, etc., to actually meet those needs and make sure that we're leveraging the best in class to be able to broaden and scale. So it's not about designing new program, it's actually what's working and how do we make it more accessible to those learners that need it. The other one that I can't name who is doing it, but in the health sector, I've been in a number of conversations where there's some employers are actually collaborating with each other, because if you look at it from a compliance or regulatory perspective, they all have the same level of onboarding or regulatory training that needs to happen for their staff, but it's a highly casualized workforce. So often if you've got an employee that is working across 2 or 3 or maybe 4 employers, is having to duplicate the same training, which often from a learning and development perspective results in a complacency and not really taking on board the learning or the skills development required. So they're actually working to, how do they share data, or what is that quality assurance mapping from a capability framework perspective, so that actually if Andrew is working at employer A and then goes to work at Adam's company, Adam doesn't have to make him repeat the same training as long as it's within the compliance window. And I think they're examples where there's great value to be had that can also support some small to medium businesses in meeting their needs as well.
Can I just jump in to follow that, Adam? We're currently working with an organisation that is relatively large but not massive, and it's very diverse in what their business types are and what they're actually producing, and so we're basically doing something very similar to that. They are developing a tool, or we're developing a tool with them to self-evaluate. So basically, what are my skills and competencies? I'm going to self-evaluate. It's going to tell me what I need if I want to progress into a certain direction, if I want to go to that part of the business, or if I want to be promoted into a different space, then what's the training that I need to complete to actually get there? So that is it's not the same as being compliant coming into OpenLearning as a new employee, but it is
Andrew, can you speak up a little bit? The audio
I'm
is loud.
sorry. It just keep further and further back. But it is a way of really helping employees understand themselves, but also the organization to understand them and what skills they have in the business. And AI tool is going to be a really important part of that. Just really on going back to Freddie, what you said about the strategy for innovation. We get a lot of people who will come to us and say, once upon a time they said they wanted gamification in their learning. Now they say they want AI. And if you press that, they go, I don't really know what I mean by AI, but they want it. And I think that understanding or sort of that application will develop. But it is people they really need to understand it so that they can actually put it into their strategy for learning.
FT, do you want to jump in?
I'm just waiting for invitation, whether you
you
wanted to field some questions or whatever. Just very quickly, right? Freddie, I cannot agree more that the pace of change is so quick that we can't keep up, right? The analogy that I have is technology is moving so fast that biology can't keep up, because biologically we have not changed over the thousands of years, or even not millenniums, but technology has moved so quickly that we are unable. You can have hardware and software that is processing terabytes and multi-terabytes of data with just a microsecond, but our brain unfortunately cannot process it as quickly. That's one. The other point I want to make is interestingly, this is a really interesting interesting phenomenon. Coding, coders and those people who code stuff in our tech stack. Just a mere 5-6 years ago, that's the hot skills. Everyone wants to be a coder. Even parents want to send their kids, you got to do computer engineering, you got to do coding, because that's the future. Now it's no longer relevant. It's still relevant, but no longer as relevant, because it's no longer coding, because everybody can code. You just need to ask the right questions, the right prompts, and ChatGPT or any of the LLMs or a bit more dedicated coding LLMs would help you code stuff. You can even code PowerPoint. You don't just use the user interface. You can code PowerPoint to do whatever you want in it, and then that's the back of the scene code. So now it's moved. The skills is no longer coding. The skill is going towards how do you ask the right questions and prompt engineering, whatever you want to call it. And then the challenge comes is, isn't asking the right question a very old skill? It's not a new skill at all. Just need to train and contextualize what questions to ask and how to ask them. But technically, it's still asking the right questions. And asking the right question has always been a perennial, leadership skill, a perennial human skills, if you want to grow, right? So I think that's something that we are facing challenges now, because we have onboarded thousands of coders to help us develop and maintain our financial tech platforms, that hyper-personalize different things for customers. Now those are, they have to relearn very quickly. They don't have to unlearn their coding skills, but relearning some of this stuff, because we are putting in new things. AI, we buy AI platforms to go in there to help deliver this quickly. But at the moment, unfortunately, the graph is not going up linearly. It's not going up exponentially for sure. Actually, it's slowing down, because we are replacing systems we think it would be faster, but it's not faster. Actually, it's slowing down. We need to quickly solve this by providing new skills, ensuring that we re-strategize our learning infrastructure so that we can get them to ask the right questions quickly, so that they can use those technology as fast as possible. So that's a real challenge that we are facing, that we kind of have an idea how to solve it. But I think all of us I think all of us, I can say it quite safely, all of us are grappling as well. We are learning, we are trying, there's some trial and error because some of this stuff are pretty new in a context of a enterprise-wide implementation.
Yeah, it's a great point, actually. And I've been thinking about this for some time as well. In many ways, AI is becoming a multiplier of our capability. So for the coders, yes, it's possible now that someone with limited coding knowledge can develop an application. But someone who is actually a good programmer can now probably do 10 times more than what they did before. And I think often now I wonder at least whether people will have the opportunity to develop their skills to the point where AI does become extremely beneficial as a multiplier to them, or whether because it's so easy to use AI in the beginning, you don't develop the critical thinking skills and the questioning, the problem solving, which would make you even more useful with AI. And this is a challenge probably that we all face.
Yeah. I think to add to that, some of the feedback that I've heard from industry, particularly in technical roles, is getting employers, particularly smaller employers, to continue to invest in creating entry-level roles so that there is the opportunity to build the pipeline.
Yeah, that's a good point. But we've got a question here, and we're going to take a few questions, so feel free to post them. One question coming in here is asking if we can comment on the requirement for guidelines or similar rules pertaining to AI usage, especially for education ethics. And I guess this goes to the broader question of whether there are, there's guidelines coming from governments around the world, but are organizations also now developing their own guidelines and approaches to AI? So who would like to start off in this one?
Yeah, I'm happy to start, and then others can definitely join in. So from a university perspective, we have worked to develop AI principles. So they've been endorsed, they're in practice. They help to guide the way that we engage with AI, but it goes broader than that. So in Australia, from a higher education perspective, we're regulated by an organisation called TEXA, and they've worked really closely with the education providers over the last couple of years to look at how it is being used, what support mechanisms need to be put in place, but particularly in areas like assessment authenticity and guidance to staff and students in that area. How do we as a sector support that process, which I think is really important to do so. So it's about the scaffolded support, so you understand when to engage and how to engage, how to disclose, as long as it's allowed in that particular task or activity, that you can use AI. But then it's also touching on the other elements within higher education or industry as well, which is about IP ownership and recognition of where that information has come from or how it's pieced together. That's really important, both IP and copyright, to provide that scaffolded support in that process. The other way we're using it is to help prioritize what tools and technology we do use. So in some instances, it's about when we pilot and making sure that we have, what's the problem that we're trying to solve, what's the measurement of success, how are we demonstrating efficacy, and then where to from there. And then in other instances, it's also about when does it make sense just to use it without having a pilot experience as well. And as part of that, what's the support process? I might stop there because I can see Andrew's got his hand up.
I just wanted to add in there, Microsoft have been working with the Department of Education in South Australia, and it's a really good example of let's embrace this, but let's control it. And so they've developed their own platform with the support of Microsoft, and so therefore they are given themselves an element of control. They can develop their policies around how it's used, but it is a nice closed system that they can offer to the different schools in South Australia.
That's interesting. And
I'll jump in very quickly. Yeah. Banking and financial services, obviously, it's highly regulated, right? So I'll just put it this way. Obviously, there are specific, controls and governance by the regulators, and we are regulated in everything that we do because we are, dealing with people's money. So there is the central bank, and then we have the Securities Commission, and then we have the multi other, different areas that is regulated. And particularly is the primary principle when it comes to technology, AI or otherwise, is decisions are made by accountable, responsible human beings. Somebody needs to be hung if something goes wrong. The process can be augmented, can be amplified, can be multiplied using your specific vernacular, Adam, by any kind of technology. As long as the artificial intelligence cannot be making decisions, the real intelligence have to be accountable and responsible for any decisions made, and therefore can be held accountable. So far, in Malaysia at least, there is no concrete ethical framework that has been put in place to govern the use or the implementation of it yet. However, the specific industry regulators are already putting it in, particularly those that are highly regulated. For example, banking. And I think banking is the first one to have a sort of. It's a pale shadow of what it should be, but it's a start.
Sorry, maybe I jump in, Adam. Sorry.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please jump
from
in.
the institution. Okay, so we are aware that we can't enforce things that we can't ask the learners to not use ChatGPT for their homework, things like this. I think even the bigger students take this ChatGPT to learn more, which enhance their learning when it comes to submission of or summative assessment. So the thing that we did in Temasek Polytechnic is we have a playbook for every individual students that how are you going to use and access this ChatGPT or Gen AI in helping you to overcome your difficulties in homeworks and also submissions. So it's also to voice down to the ethics and value of the student, as in if you copy word by word, it'll be plagiarism. Of course, we have a tool called Tune It In to actually help to sieve out what are plagiarism that you have done, and we can pick up the nitty gritty that you have not, the content is not from your side or yourself. Okay, so I think for learners and trainers, we also need to evolve in terms of assessment or assessing the students. Okay, we can move away from essay type questions. Okay, we can do more project work. We can do more individual presentations for the students. We can also do a demonstration of skills in class, you see. So there's a lot of way of assessment to overcome that kind of plagiarism. So it's more towards how you behave when no one is looking. So that's what we enforce, not enforce. The value of learning must still be intact in the institution. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Freddie. Now we're just going to wrap up in a couple of minutes, so we might just do some closing remarks. I know, FT, do you want to start first? I think you have to leave shortly as well.
Yeah, I've got a 11 o'clock, but I'm still okay. So this is just a summary, right, Adam? You asked me to summarize.
Yeah, just a short summary. Any closing thoughts?
Okay.
Anything you want to share? Yeah.
I think my opening and my closing would be the same. I'm just using an example. For example, when Excel and Lotus 123, if any of you are old enough to know what it is, I started spreadsheet when it was Lotus 123. Excel wasn't even there yet. So, and I started my journey on the computer when it was black and it's green fonts, and you have to put directory \W, then it goes wide. The DOS prompt. C:\\. Interestingly, technology has always been a part of our lives, but has it taken over any of the higher order thinking, higher order skills that we have? It has accentuated it, to be honest. I think the concern that I personally have is this AI is making things so simple that it takes away some of the satisfaction of learning, satisfaction of accomplishing something. my example is I can't write any music, which is the greatest regret of my life. I don't write music. I love music, but I can't write them. But lo and behold, I managed to write a song with no experience whatsoever in notation. I have no idea. AI's come up with a notation. I ask, play it, and it plays. And I say, I don't like this music. I don't like this. I want a higher pitch, higher whatever amplitude. And it plays the music. And suddenly I'm a jazz musician, a jazz composer overnight in 2 hours. Does it necessarily make me a jazz composer? No, it does not. But I appear to be. Now, that's a good thing, because then, there's a gap that I can close in kind of skills that I need and I want. But we need to be careful that, we don't take this to the level of complacency, as what Sherry is talking about, as well as you are now becoming a replica or a reflection of what technology is allowing us to be. So it is a good thing. I'm a firm believer that it is an amplifier, it's a multiplier. We just need to be able to use it intelligently, and hopefully we can learn things and help us learn more things that previously it is not even available to us.
That's a great point, FT, and I think that it goes back to a lot of the educational experiences that we hope people have, where they're doing things because they're intrinsically motivated and they get that sense of personal satisfaction and gratification. I mean, in many ways, it's similar to even the summaries of books, like Cliff Notes. We can all read the Cliff Notes in the abridged version of a book, but we still read the full book because it's the journey of discovery and thought that we go on while reading the book that we particularly enjoy. So hopefully people still experience that and they don't take the shortcut too often.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So maybe Sheree, maybe just any closing remarks from you as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess first of all, thank you for the conversation. It's been great to be involved. I think we could easily spend plenty more time this afternoon talking about this topic. The key elements that I think stand out and tie into what has been said is that building curiosity in staff, students, the broader community is important, as is keeping sight of those known fundamentals from a learning design perspective, which is, as humans and as adults, we need support in how to learn effectively, how to demonstrate skills in practice. And that's where I think there's real value in developing intrinsic motivation in how we design and develop learning and development opportunities, but also portfolio-based assessment so that we can build evidence that then helps with the transferability of skills too. Thanks.
Thanks, Sheree. That's great. Andrew.
Thank you. And I agree. It's been a really interesting conversation and we could have another hour and a half of it. It'd be great. I want to finish with an observation. I teach the development of courses in the OpenLearning platform for the AITD eLearning series as in the production and delivery course. And so I know how it all works. I've set up all my assessments around the development of courses using your AI tools. Wandering around all the booths in Singapore recently, and I keep referring back to Singapore, but it was pretty inspiring. But wandering around those booths, people were saying, yeah, we can create courses. It's amazing. It's amazing. And they were showing me and it was I had a little bit of, and I couldn't say it to them, but it was a little bit of a, oh, is that all? And it was, I really have a lot of respect for this platform and really enjoying using it. And it feels a long way ahead of a lot of people.
Thanks, Andrew. I really appreciate that. I think we're always trying our best to do something meaningful rather than something that just is gimmicky. So that's cool. the hope. Too many little gimmicks out there. Freddie, let's finish off with you.
Thanks, Adam. I also like to thank Andrew, FT, and Sherry for providing the insights from the Australia and Malaysia point of view. I think I learned a lot through this conversation. Okay, just on the replacement of jobs by AI, the fear, just want to bring back in the 1980s when the internet was first introduced, okay, the knowledge accessibility by everyone. I think we have the similar apprehension and anxiety. So AI is going to stay for the next 40 and 50 years. which I believe so. Okay, maybe I'll touch on the two parts on the future of R&D and also the mindset. Okay, for the future of corporate learning will be defined by personalization and agility, and the alignment with the business needs is very important. So as the workforce faces constant change, R&D programs will evolve to become more targeted and skills oriented, focusing on the specific capabilities required to meet the business goals and technological advancements. So of course, digital innovations such as data analytics and a holistic approach to employee engagement and well-being will be key to creating successful R&D program. And lastly, the mindset. I think furthermore, employers will need to adopt a more proactive mindset towards upskilling and reskilling, ensuring the workforce is equipped to respond quickly to emerging technologies. One way is to opt for open learning, okay, courses. And by fostering a culture of continuous learning, I think companies can ensure that their employees not only stay competitive, but thrive in face of challenges or new change. So the future of corporate R&D will ultimately be about cultivating a learning ecosystem that empowers employees, drives innovation, and enhances the organizational performance. Okay, thank you, Adam.
Thanks, Freddie. So thank you to all of our panelists, Freddie, Shri, FT, and Andrew. It's been a wonderful discussion today, and I really appreciate your time. So thanks once again for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.
Now, thank you, and we'll see you again next time. Great. And now we're going to move straight into the OpenLearning Awards ceremony. And we've got a number of awards to announce today. So I think we'll probably just get right into it. Now, I'm really excited to announce the finalists for the Best Talent Development Program. So this award focuses on a Coursera program that was designed as a resource to drive or support talent development at a group or individual level. So congratulations to our two finalists. We have University of Technology Malaysia, the Malaysia Carbon Reduction and Environmental Sustainability Tools, MyCrest. So Nur Izabedina Abedin, congratulations. And Oral Communication in English, Nurul Nazira Hamza, University Malaysia Sabah. So congratulations and well done. The winner for the Best Talent Development Program is Oral Communication in English from Nur Nazira Hamza, University Malaysia Sabah. So congratulations on winning this award. We are really honored and grateful for all of the submissions for this award. It was a challenging decision process, but we're really excited to announce the winner for the Best Talent Development Program. So congratulations. Okay, next award. We have Best Learning Experience Design. So we've got a number of finalists for this award. The award focuses on engaging, effective, and learner-centered learning experiences that maximize learner engagement, knowledge retention, and skills development in a course. And for this award, we have 3 finalists. And they include Fundamentals of Networking from Prof. Jahana at University Tenaga Nasional, Uni 10. Our next finalist is Afika Amin from University Brunei Darussalam, Mastering Qualitative Insights for Business. And our final finalist is Organizational Communication from Nur Nisa Omar and University Malaya Wales. So congratulations to our finalists. We had a question on what's the prize. We have a trophy prepared and extensive coverage for the winners. So we'll be arranging that. But we'll also be marketing all of your courses as well. So we'll be featuring these courses quite extensively and promoting the excellent work that everyone has done. Now, for the winner of Best Learning Experience Design, we have Nurul Nisa Omar, University Malaya Wales, Organizational Communication. Congratulations on winning Best Learning Experience Design. in 2024 at the OpenLearning Awards. Congratulations once again. I'm really honored and excited to see this course has been developed. So well done to you and your team. Our next award is Outstanding Course Design with the AI Assistant. Now, this award focuses on a course that was designed and developed using OpenLearning's AI Assistant. And I suppose you probably wouldn't even be able to tell it was designed with AI. That's probably part of the idea of this award. But we can certainly work it out, and we're really excited for the two finalists here. Strategic Inclusive Teaching, Mastering Adaptive Methodologies, Ratna Osman from University of Brunei Darussalam, and also from University of Brunei Darussalam, Introduction to Brunei Culture and Lifestyle from Dr. Haji Siti Noraina. So congratulations. The two finalists is a competition between two academics at University of Brunei. So let's see who the winner is. And it is Introduction to Brunei Culture and Lifestyle. Dr. Siti Noraina, University of Brunei Darussalam, congratulations on winning Outstanding Course Design with the AI Assistant at the OpenLearning Awards 2024. So congratulations to you and your team on developing an excellent course using AI. Now, our next award is Outstanding Course Design with Course Magic. So Course Magic is the AI tool that OpenLearning provides that works with other learning management systems, not just OpenLearning. And this award focuses on course content that was designed and developed using Course Magic by OpenLearning. So we've got two finalists here. So congratulations on being finalists again for this award. And the winner is Mastering Qualitative Insights for Business, the winner of the Outstanding Course Design with Course Magic Award, Afika Amin, University of Brunei Darussalam. Congratulations on winning this award. Very excited to see this course being developed. Now, we have another award here, Global Innovation Award. This award focuses on a course that uses creative teaching methods and unique content and delivery approaches to enhance the learning experience. We have three finalists for this award. Young Well-Beings, Western Sydney University. One Health Interactive Learning, Akisa Zaino, Hayat Technologies. And Visual Communication, Nurul Nisa Omar, University Malaya Wales. So we have three fantastic finalists for this award. So congratulations on the finalists. Let's see who the winner is. It is Young Well-Beings from Western Sydney University. Congratulations on winning the Global Innovation Award from the OpenLearning Awards 2024 for the course Young Well-Beings. This is a fantastic course, and we look forward to promoting it. Now, congratulations to all the winners of the OpenLearning Awards. Your trophies will be prepared, and we look forward to promoting all of the winners and their programs extensively across our marketing campaigns and social media. Yes, well done. Well done to the team for Young Well-Being. Now, we have a celebration today as well for celebrating the graduates of the OpenLearning Certified Educator Program. So the OpenLearning Certified Educator Program is an online training program that OpenLearning provides for free of charge, and it provides a range of courses in learning design, assessment, course development, facilitation, and more. So we also have a directory of all of our graduates of the OpenLearning Certified Educator Program, and we can promote them to our partners and customers for learning design as well. So if anyone's looking for learning designers or educators, we also share this directory and we promote them too. So let's see who has graduated. Some of the graduates we are pleased to celebrate here today in 2024. Susie Fiordorf, Andrew Napier, Erin De La Torres, Mings Orbegoso, Katrina Gonzalez, Fatin Nadira, and Kimberly Mangandi. So congratulations to our graduates for the 2024 OpenLearning Certified Educator Program, and to everyone who has participated in the program but has not graduated from the entire program. you're welcome to continue the program and graduate. But we also grateful for your support and engagement throughout the program. And we look forward to welcoming many more people into the OpenLearning Certified Educator program as well over the coming year. So thank you once again, and congratulations to everyone. Okay, now we have our academia and industry showcase. So this showcase is a new segment, and we are quite excited about this here today. In this showcase, what we will be doing is we will be showcasing academics and educators and professionals from around the world who are developing fantastic courses and making an impact in their fields. So each person will have some time to present their work, about 10 minutes each, and a few minutes Q&A as well. So now, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Dr. Chua from the Selangor Human Resource Development Center. Welcome, Dr. Chua. Thank you for being with us here today. And very pleased to hand over to you and showcase the great work that you're doing to the audience here today.
All right. Thank you very much, Adam. Thank you for the introduction. A very good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Chua. I'm from the Selangor Human Resource Development Center, SHRDC in short, right? And this morning, I would just like to share a little bit about one of our more recent program, which we call it the Generative AI Essentials for Industry 4.0. So basically, what we do at SHRDC is that we actually develop new and emerging technology programs, and one of them upcoming is actually on Gen AI. We have been working with OpenLearning for quite a while now, developing remote online training programs, which are a bit more unique because we link it up with actual hardware that is actually running on our site. But for this morning, I will share a little bit about a bit of preview about our Gen AI program, so that at least you know roughly how to get into this program later on. Right. So Gen AI, right? I think most of us know Gen AI more towards ChatGPT, right? But essentially, what we always talk about in terms of generative AI is how can we make machines think like humans, right? So if you look at this picture over here, right, this is actually a generated image from the generative AI on Alan Turing, right? So Alan Turing was one of the first men that actually created what we call as the first computer, right, back then to actually win the war, right? So this is actually the emergence of computers, right? And you know, basically it became what we call as the Turing test, right, to actually measure a computer's intelligence. And eventually, of course, we call it the artificial intelligence, or AI in short, right? And of course, as you know, progression of AI moves forward, right? Nowadays, we talk about AI being used for generating content, right? Not just text, but also now voice, right? Which is also scary, but it's interesting enough. Recently, I even had the opportunity to see someone attending a concert by virtual influencers. Now, that's very interesting because they call it the VTuber concept, virtual tubers, right? And all the videos are actually AI generated, right? Which is very, very interesting. And you can actually converse with virtual influencers directly. So AI has progressed a lot over the years. We talk about rule-based systems, which is essentially the initial emergence of AI, right? And then now we talk about machine learning, deep learning, right? So those are actually progression of AI to do statistical analysis, right? And then deep learning is a lot to do with the time series, forecasting, estimation, vision inspection, object detection. And now with generative AI, there's a lot of amazing things that you can actually do with it, right? So basically, if you talk about Gen AI, okay, we see that it can create new and original content, okay, create realistic and diverse outputs in text, images, and videos, right? And of course, you can see the underlying patterns of structures of data as you generate the output directly, right? So what is the difference between GenAI and ChatGPT? Now, this is very, very important for everyone to know. ChatGPT is basically the application where generative AI is implemented. So large language models like OpenAI and also a lot of other large language models out there are actually used in certain applications like ChatGPT, right? And what our course intends to move towards to is not teaching you how to use ChatGPT, but to actually introduce to you a way to develop your own privately hosted GPT, okay? Right? So let me show you a little bit about what GenAI can do using our course, right? Such as drafting emails, generate customer support, costing calculators, and many, many others. So now let me show you a little bit about how to create your own AI applications, okay? Now we use a tool called Langflow, okay? Langflow is an open source software. Basically, it's a very, very intuitive tool. It's drag and drop. You can use it to create almost anything, okay? Right, it's a local platform. You can create chatbots. You can create your own conversational bot. You can essentially also link it to any of your documents and talk to them, right? So basically, it has drag and drop functionality. I'll show you in a short bit. And one of the key things that we always focus on for generative AI is what we call as AI sovereignty, right? So private data, private chats. So all these are under the data privacy functionality. Okay, now Langflow looks like this when you open it up. Okay, if you go through our course, we'll actually run you through a bit deeper. And basically, when you open Langflow, you have this blank page, right? And you have all the nodes or components here, right? To actually help you to build your first app. Okay, it's drag and drop. So it looks like this, very, very simple. So this is your brain. This is your conversational memory. This is your prompt templates. And of course, then eventually you can create your own chain of agents and start to converse with them. Okay, so this is actually the chat function. So it looks like ChatGPT, but it's a little bit more enhanced version of it. So you can choose any models that you want to use. You can use any open source models. You can chat with them, and you can actually fine tune them if you need to. All right. Now let me just show you a little bit of example of how we talk to our PDF. All right. So let's see. Let's go to my YouTube. Let's see. Okay. So let's go to YouTube. Right. So this is an example of using Langflow, right? And how to talk to your PDF. So basically what's being seen here is that you have a PDF document, okay? And you want to actually get a summary of what's the content in the PDF, right? So Langflow allows you to just upload the PDF, okay? You link it to an embedding tool, okay? And automatically you can link it to the AI LLM, large language model, and automatically you can ask questions on the handbook that you want. So if you are an educator, basically what you can do is that you have a textbook, okay? You have a textbook. What you can do next is that you just, link up your PDF textbook inside the Langflow, and you can actually ask questions about it, right? We have had educators that actually use Langflow, okay, to actually create question banks, to actually create question and answer solutions, right, based on the PDF document that they have. So basically, it's limiting or narrowing the scope, right, to ensure that the bot only asks questions related to the PDF that you're looking for. All right. Okay, so that's one example. Okay, then I want to show you another example on how it can be used to do some form of product comparison, right? So Langflow can also do what we call as product comparison features, right? So basically, let's say if you have two products, right? Let's say you have a car A and a car B, right? Basically, you can ask a question to Langflow, and then you can actually say, okay, I want to compare between a Vios and a Mazda, right? And I want to compare it in terms of the fuel efficiency, in terms of the seating capacity, the power, horsepower, space, for example, right? So these kind of examples are quite useful because you don't have to draft out an entire user manual on it. Basically, you can just ask the Langflow to actually compute out the comparison, right? And you can just copy and paste and send it to somebody, right? And this is actually very, very interesting kind of applications, because eventually what could happen next is that you could actually use Langflow to do more than just product comparison. You can even use it for doing course comparisons, right? Let's say just now you have multiple programs, and you can say, okay, this is a program A, program B. I want to do a bachelor's in engineering for electrical. I want to do a bachelor's of software engineering, right? Tell me what are the differences. Tell me what are the key learning outcomes. What are the career paths? So that could easily help you to move further in terms of your ChatGPT or LLM kind of functionality, right? There's a lot of different examples, but I of course only have 10 minutes. So these are some examples of other use cases that we can see. For example, some of our industry participants, they use Langflow to create equipment user and maintenance manuals, right? So basically they upload the maintenance manuals, then you can chat with them, and basically the bot will tell you what to do. So this is quite useful for those in manufacturing. You have a machine that breaks down, and you tell the symptoms of the machine, and automatically it will read the document that you upload, the maintenance document, and tell you, okay, based on the maintenance document, you need to do A, B, C, D, E. That is the process that you need to go, right? Rather than opening up a manual, find the problem, which takes you a lot of time, right? Okay, so conversational chatbots are useful for this kind of examples. Safety standards, right? Sometimes we forget safety standards, okay? And what Langflow could actually do is that you could actually upload a safety manual, right? For example, this tells you like what's the clearance that you need in order to create a kind of product, right? Then you can ask questions like, okay, what is the clearance provided for flat hand wrist access? And then you'll explain to you, okay, this is for bare hand, it's 114 mm. And then, what's the clearance access for minor dimensions? Then it'll tell you it's 89 mm. So basically, these are how conversational chatbots could help you to actually move faster, right? And, you don't have to have someone at the end to actually keep on explaining to you or opening up a manual and then telling you what to do, right? So everything is there. Marketing, right? A lot of examples for marketing, right? Yeah, so for a marketing team, they want to know which is the most suitable hard drive, for example, right? So you can actually create a chatbot for them to ask questions like, okay, is it suitable for these kind of applications? What if I want to do this? What if I want to do that? And the chatbot can give you all the product information that you need, right? So the marketing person doesn't need to go back to the technical person, back and forth to actually answer questions, right? Querying machine status. Now, this is quite interesting. Basically, you can ask questions about your current machine status. It will plot it out for you, and then it will tell you what can or cannot be done. So a lot of things that can be done with Langflow. This is part of our program. It'll be up in OpenCreds very, very soon, right? So do let us know if you're interested. You can drop us a note, and of course, let us know if you have any questions. So yeah, that's my short presentation, and back to you, Adam.
Thank you, Dr. Chua. Very insightful. Please share the link in the chat as well, so everyone can visit if they're interested. Are there any questions for Dr. Chua while we have him here? Okay, well, feel free to post your questions in the chat, and then we can always respond to them directly. And Dr. Chua will share the link. I think you had a QR code on the presentation, so wherever that goes, feel free to share it in the chat with the rest of the attendees as well. But thank you very much. Really insightful showcase there. So thanks for joining us. Okay, now I'm very pleased to welcome the next showcase. in e-learning and digital solutions for global health pandemic preparedness. This is quite an important topic. I wish we had this 5 years ago, but it's great to see it now. So please welcome Yakasa Zainal Abidin. Welcome today from Hyatt Technologies. Now over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So basically first of all, I would like start my presentation by saying good morning everyone and also Assalamualaikum. Today I will be talking about e-learning and also digital solutions for global health pandemic preparedness. So before I start my presentation today, I would like to let everyone imagine like it is the year of 2020 where there is like mysterious virus which is sorry is my screen shared? Okay. So I would like everyone to like imagine like in the year of 2020 if there is like mysterious virus where we are unsure like what to do next. So from there like we learn, which is like it is very important for us to well prepare with what we are facing in the future. So this is what the topic of my presentation today. So as you could see in the screen, the COVID-19 why digital solution matter in pandemic preparedness, which is the COVID-19 pandemic, show us that preparedness begins with knowledge and ends with action. So before I start to my objective of digital learning, the role of digital solution in this, which is the world has learned that pandemic knows no border, and neither should our response. Digital solution has learned, digital solution have become essential tools in addressing this reality, offering scalable, adaptable, and also collaborative platform to enhance the training and also readiness. I would say e-learning has proven particularly effective in terms of in terms of our preparedness to face these challenges. So these are our few objectives that I've shared to everyone, which is our flagship case study, which is the one team approach for field epidemiology training program. So this is a program that have been funded by US CDC with implementation across South Asian countries such as Malaysia, Nepal, Bangladesh, Indonesia, and also Taiwan. So there is two key highlight in this objective, which is the first one, the collaborative training, and also interdisciplinary learning. So let's move to our first key point, which is collaborative training. The one team approach promotes collaborative training, bringing together professionals from various sectors. So there's a few departments that will be involved in this one team approach, such as from Ministry of Health, veterinary service, and also a few other more. So the one team approach promotes collaborative training, bringing together professionals from various sectors. This approach is designed to foster cross-sector communication and also understanding. The next highlight would be like the interdisciplinary learning. Trainees from different sectors, like I've mentioned before this, learn from each other's experience and also building a share and understanding from various disease threat and also surveillance methodologies. The one team approach encouraged interdisciplinary learning and collaboration, leading to a more comprehensive and also effective response in the future, of course. So, of course, I wouldn't say that we don't have any challenges when doing this. So, and also like, of course, there is few challenges when we are doing the public health training. So there is few points here, but of course, the first one would be like the inflexibility. Many programs are rigid and fails to accommodate the personnel and also their professional workforce in commitments when it comes to when they have to juggle out everything such as their work, their family, and also their personal commitment. The next thing that we notice, which is their coordination issues, such as the time zone difference, or maybe like decentralized communication channels. It often hinders seamless collaboration. And finally is, of course, the limited monitoring tools. So what we have seen, which is traditional system lack effective mechanism for monitoring students or maybe like the participants' progression. So it is very important for us to have like a very precise monitoring tools. So which is here I would like to emphasize like what makes e-learning effective for pandemic preparedness training. There is 5 pointers that I would like to emphasize. The first one, which is the centralized platform. As we all know, I believe everyone here have been using the e-learning platform. So it provides like single location accessing learning materials, including readings, videos, interactive simulation, and also assessment, of course. And also we have the interactive simulation. Of course, it provides something like visual simulation, data analysis tool, and it will improve like the knowledge retention by providing hands-on learning experience. The next one would be like the case study. So why we put it here, which is because of we believe that most of the public for the healthcare workforce, they need like few case studies and also gamified quizzes because of after a long day stress, after there is so many cases that they need to imagine. So like these are the things that provide them like a real case scenario, but in a fun way. So the next one would be like the flexibility and convenience. Students can learn at their own pace, or participants can learn at their own pace with their own schedule, of course. And finally, which is the group-based problem solving. So this is how we did like our program. So there is few phases, as everyone could see. The first of all, of course, we need to develop our curriculum and also review our curriculum. So there is few tiers when it comes to this, such as the frontline, intermediate, and also advanced. We need to identify like who our participants from which sector and all those stuff. By then we can define that for the workshop, it need to be like 3 to 5 days, or maybe like for the field work, it need to be like 4 to 5 weeks, and so on until it is graduation days. So when it comes to like these few phases, we will identify our student, then like what we will be doing, which is for the workshop 1, we will do it hybrid. It is the combination of the e-learning and also in person, because we believe that for the onboarding and for them to familiar with the structure of our program, they need to be in person. And finally, they can go for the fieldwork 1, where they could continue with their daily work, and at the same time, they could still benefits from the e-learning. And we go on with the workshop 2, the same method, which is hybrid, which is the combination of the e-learning and also in person, fieldwork 2, and finally the graduation day. So this is like the example for everyone to imagine like what we have done, the activity, which is such as curriculum, design, and also review. On the left picture, which is this is like one of the activity that we did in the workshop 1, where the human animal environment and also wildlife sector be in one group, and they just share their experience, share their real case scenarios where where their group members from another sector could imagine like what is like their main issue or what is like their main problem that they are facing. So on the right side, which is the intersectoral connection, well, this activity promotes a deeper understanding for the interconnectedness of various sectors and fostering collaboration and also joint efforts. This is one of those activities where we onboard our participants and we teach them like how to use the e-learning platform, because like most of our participants, it is not like familiar with the e-learning. So we encourage them like how to use the e-learning platform, and at the same time, we make sure that they are familiar with the structure of our program. So of course, we give them like the manuals, we let them like be familiar, we give them credential and all the stuff until they are familiar, so they can continue with the program until the end of the day. And for the field project, which is there's 3 points, but I wouldn't go into the details because I don't think I have much time. So which is the field project, of course, they need to identify like what they need to submit and what kind of field project they should do. So this is one of those things like where they need to juggle in between their daily work and also their assessment. Field project is something like assessment when it comes to e-learning. So there's 2 types of assessment and also feedback that we did, which is the first one, of course, the formative assessments like quizzes and also case studies offer immediate feedback and guide the learner's understanding. So for this one, which is we also offer them like one-to-one consultation where the mentor will guide them throughout the assessment throughout the program, and which is the summative assessment such as final project and exam measure overall knowledge and acquisition. Feedback is provided formally, of course, using rubrics for consistent evaluation and instructor guidance for personalized support. So cost analytic for outcome measure. So I believe that in OpenLearning, of course, we have the cost analytic where we could learn our student behavior and also their progression. So the track progression, which is we could see valuable data and also learners engagement and their performance throughout the whole course, throughout the whole program. So this data can be used to identify areas for improvement and also track progress toward training objective. So we have like a few cases where we noticed that the student doesn't make any progression. So by then we could nudge our mentor, like tell them like to keep track of their mentee progression to make sure that they are moving forward. If they have any problem, where they could reach out to their mentor. The next one, which is to identify trends. Cost analytic reveal patterns and trends in learner behavior, allowing for informed adjustment to teaching and strategies and content. Finally, which is to measure the success, which is completion rate, test score, and other metrics to assess the effectiveness of the training program and demonstrate the impact of online learning initiative. So, moving forward, which is we have the real world impact of e-learning. So, there's 3 points that I would like to emphasize.
Sorry,
which
just
is,
one more minute.
Okay, noted. Which is
One
the
more
high
minute.
enrollment. across sectors, career application, and so institutional impact. So I wouldn't go that details into this, but I believe that everyone could imagine by now, which is how it impacts the real world using the e-learning. So call to action, which is global health preparedness require bridging the digital divide. And the next point, which is prioritize interdisciplinary program that equips professionals with skills for complex challenges. And finally, invest in sustainable e-learning platform. So before I end my presentation today, I would like to quote, which is by embracing digital learning, we are investing in a safer and healthier future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Akasha. Thanks so much for your presentation. Fantastic sharing. If there are any questions, feel free to be able to post them in the chat or Q&A, and then you can respond within the chat and when they come through. But thank you once again for sharing. That was wonderful. Okay. Next up, we have a showcase from Uni 10. Dr. Johanna from Uni 10 will be showcasing crafting quality micro-credentials, Uni 10's roadmap from development to delivery. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Johanna. It's wonderful to see you here today. Over to you.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for this opportunity. So the time starts now. Right, so thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Johanna from Uni 10, currently serving as a director for academic advancement and flexible learning, OKFL. So what I plan to do today is to share with you on our exciting journey and how we manage our experience with the micro-credential course development. So there it goes. Okay. So we're so much privileged to share with you on what we have already gone through so far. But to tell you something like a background from our previous journey on micro-credential, it was not long time ago whereby we had this coming before 2020. And then we started with OpenLearning to embark on our micro-credentials offering. And this is exactly what we have for the journey, all right? So let me just have some laser pointer here. A little bit of a background. So Uni 10 has been involved in somewhat like a blended learning initiative, which is coming from our parent company, Tenaga Nasional Berhad, whereby Uni 10 inspired or aspired to be along with the universities in Malaysia and of course globally, we offer a blended learning in all our conventional programs. And starting from 2019 onwards, we believe that we should change a bit in the offering. And we started with flexible learning. And from blended learning, we have 4 different initiatives here, but let's just focus on what we have here instead. So only in 2019, where we started off with digital and flexible learning initiative, we look into first on micro-credentials because that is how easy we can make do with the digital learning course offering. And then we have this idea on having to offer MOOC courses. And soon after that, we do this by college, whereby the program owner of these programs for the open and distance learnings is actually being hosted elsewhere. But for Uni 10, we have all our micro-credential courses and MOOC on OpenLearning. And coming from there, you can see that we have our commitment to try to figure out how to give quality courses. And then, of course, in mind, we always try to align this with the relevance coming from the industry. And then through that, with OpenLearning specifically, we believe that we can embark on personalized learning. And to date, we also noticed that OpenLearning has these AI features that expedite all the processes for course development. And I would like to share with you on the Unit 10 micro-credentials vision. So I try to keep things simple for you. For the initiatives, we thought that if we were to try to streamline with the offerings of micro-credentials, and it needs to be aligned with our compliance with the Malaysian Qualification Agency requirement. So there are many approaches to this, but there were three, which is stated in the guideline. Basically, we can have unbundled courses coming from our existing conventional programs. And that was verily the first phase of our Unit 10 adventure. And coming to that, type number 2 is actually consortium between many different combinations of universities or maybe industry. And then the third one, which is quite hot now, we have this flexibility to come up with a standalone micro-credential courses. And to top that, Unit 10 is also venturing into that. So we have to skim through and also to try to figure out when it comes to market surveys and how we can be relevant and aligned to the industry needs. We thought that offering micro-credential would be something that's designed to be not only standalone, but at the end of the day, provide giving meaningful values and also some experience to the lifelong learners or maybe to whoever which is going to learn. And we want to ensure that it is stackable in terms of packaging all these micro-credentials. At the end of the day, they're going to be given some digital badges. But yes, that one is more like a scout thing, okay, where you carry all these digital badges around. But then they want something meaningful. So we have to design all these micro-credential courses to be aligned to somewhat like similar to a professional certification program, or perhaps something giving them eligibility for credit transfer, which is actually the entrance to our existing conventional programs offered at Unit 10. And for micro-credential as well, we are trying to see that if we can actually offer something which can really bridge the gap of competencies. So because nowadays, when it comes to even a newcomer to the industry, or perhaps someone who has just been employed, okay, a fresh graduates, certainly they're going to have this kind of lacking in terms of different kinds of competencies. So for example, if they are fresh graduates, they might not even be specialized into perhaps just take some softwares, for instance. So they need to be equipped with this knowledge in order for them to be absorbed into the company or organization. So the thing is that we look into competencies as well. And for digital transformation at Unit 10, this is incorporated in the infrastructure. And also we are looking into how about looking to upskilling, reskilling, and also provide the micro-credential access to all and to provide opportunities for those who really wants to learn further. And not only that, Unit 10 is also looking into quality affiliation. So it's not something that we jump into the bandwagon with everyone going to partner with industries, going to partner with certain NGOs or any government agencies. But we do this strategically. If you can see from here, we do some collaborations, we do some micro-credential programs. For instance, previously we have this My Digital coming from Ministry of Economy, approaching us to develop our energy literacy courses, something similar to AI for Rakyat. So this is something challenging because they want it to be done super fast, but then we managed to deliver. In a way, we're also working with Tenaga Nasional. For instance, we are looking now to produce more digital courses or micro-credential, whereby this would be streamlined into supporting the national energy transition or maybe energy literacy. So this would be part of it. But the real focus would be the journey for quality development to delivery. So when it comes to this, always we have in mind that we start off with a needs analysis, whereby we should look at, okay, we need to read for the materials to be able to be aligned to what they need, and also collaborations with the faculty members as well for seeking consultancy from the industry. And then the way that we work through at Unit 10, we have this course nomination. because after going through this needs analysis, which is usually taking like 1 to 2 months, we thought that we are going to empower the college so that they are coming up with all these interesting courses. And from there, CAFEL or my center will be looking to monitoring as well as giving and extending help and assistance throughout by training and then empowering them, digital tools and many more. And of course, once before going to OpenLearning, we are going to check on the quality, and then we go by the navigation and then see the user friendliness and many more. And we work partnership with Uni10 branches, whereby they are going to market our courses. And not only that, OpenLearning offers such thing at Marketplace. Thank you very much. And then we also have course maintenance, whereby after the whole cycle, we plan to have somewhat like a continuous improvement so that we check for the quality of our courses. These are the Uni10 micro-credential courses to date. So I'm very proud to share with you, whereby you might be thinking that what are these things? There are currently 33 different courses, which using direct enrollment. So meaning you have to go to OpenLearning at Uni10, and then you're going to subscribe yourself to these particular courses. For now, we have 23 courses which have undergone the quality check and review of OpenLearning. And we are proudly to announce that this is actually already in the marketplace. So 23 of them. And very proud to share with you that in the pipeline now, we have 37 new courses waiting to be acknowledged and going through the process to get to OpenLearning itself. Now, let's try to look into the challenges and lessons learned. So I'm only going to offer you 2 challenges. Would be when we want to have something done, we have to ask our colleagues, our faculty member, to spend their time a bit coming from what they're focusing on, which is they're teaching, they're doing research, they're doing publication. But that amount of time is simply something that is very, challenging to get. So what we do, we try to plan somewhat like a timeline for them to actually deliver these courses. But of course, close assistance from CAFEL. And we are looking into expanding interdisciplinary offerings. So we're not going to be tied into just one college to another, but we are going to have something which is of a different offering or maybe a combination. Lessons learned would be, we need a structured framework, yeah, and then we also have to have the stakeholder collaboration, and we understand that we have to visit this and that agency. How about lending a hand to help develop the micro-credentials to up to the quality as well as industrial levels? So more logos, more big names. So that is actually what we are looking into. And to look into this, faculty readiness for micro-credential development is always the challenge that I want to address. Why? Because it took us like more than 1 year to get one micro-credential to be completed. And not only that, that is actually beyond our timeline that has been promised. So now with OpenLearning, with the AI-assisted course structure module generation, it helps a lot in the course production as well. And now, this is the conclusion. So to wrap up, so please visit us at the OpenLearning to look into some of our exciting courses. And then we are also looking to collaboration for impactful micro-credential. I've already been saying just now, we would like to seek partnerships. And also, you can reach out to me, Jehana, or the center, or call Uni10 up to gain further insights on our micro-credential offerings. Thank you very much. So we are open to questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jehana. Wonderful presentation and on time as well. And congratulations on the award earlier too. So well done to you and the team at Uni10.
Okay.
Now, are there any questions from the audience?
I would be happy
Feel
to
free to post.
yeah.
That's right. Feel free to post your questions, and Dr. Jehana will be able to respond to those in the chat as well. But thank you once again for sharing your journey, and congratulations on launching all of your micro-credentials. A fantastic suite of courses that we'll be promoting through OpenLearning as well.
Thanks for the opportunity. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh,
there's a question here. Yeah.
Oh, there's one question there. Can I take it, Adam?
Sure, you can. Yeah.
Answering to Mr. Muhammad Fazli, how will OpenLearning assist in marketing Uni10's micro-credential? So basically, this is an interesting question. One thing for sure, once we already developed the courses, we look into undergoing the quality review or the marker, if I'm not mistaken, by OpenLearning. Usually it takes like 3 to 5 days for them to go through. And then if we pass the quality marker checking, and then it's going to be put at the marketplace. So when it comes to that, I know that, yeah, we go by universities. So I believe OpenLearning creates the visibility. And then not only the marketplace by OpenLearning, because the outreach is throughout the whole, a global reach out. But for us, we also have to provide a backup, not really a backup, a secondary one, which is to market our courses via e-catalogs. And then from, there's a specific department doing that, which is Unit and Ventures. But specifically to answer your question, how a marketplace can actually create the visibility for you, that is going to be done by OpenLearning after going through the quality marker. Yep. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, excellent. And I'll just add to that as well that, we are very happy to promote the university's courses through our marketplace, through our newsletters and direct campaigns and other initiatives. But yes, the university is also responsible for marketing, and the universities actually and your colleges have a good opportunity to promote the courses to your alumni as well. So
Yes.
working professionals, alumni, your wider network is a great opportunity. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Johanna. Okay, now I'd like to welcome back Andrew Napier from Learning Plan. Andrew, thank you for joining us again this afternoon to showcase the work you're doing at Learning Plan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
I really appreciate this opportunity, Adam, and thanks for the time. The things that I'd like to talk about today are what we're doing at Learning Plan, and specifically how we're using the Open Learning platform. I mentioned before when I was on the panel that I'm principal consultant with Learning Plan. I'm involved in sort of nose to tail from the consultation all the way through to the delivery of projects, and we're involved in organizational development, learning and design and change. We are very agnostic when it comes to the platform that we use, and as a result, we're going to choose the best platform for the job or for the particular project. We work with a range of different organizations. They can be government, they can be corporate, they can be not-for-profit. We work with the United Nations, New South Wales Office of Sport, Department of Education, and also smaller organizations. One of our largest clients is a small organization who's an orthodontist. So I'm going to take you through some of the project work that we've done in the Open Learning platform, because we've chosen that platform for these particular projects. But also, I just want to mention at the start, we have a team in Australia of learning designers, change managers, and but consultants who work in Australia. But we also have a team in the Philippines who are part of our company. They are technical, they're creative, lots of animations and design and things like that. But we've put everyone in the team through the Certified Educators program for Open Learning, and we had a great time doing it. We did it as a team, so we did 2 one-hour sessions a week going through the 5 courses, and so I would facilitate some. As I mentioned before, I worked for the Open Learning company several years ago, so I know the platform very, very well. But then also one of our team in the Philippines took over the facilitation because I think he was better than me. So that was a really great experience, and I'd really encourage people to actually go through that, because I saw value. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to play a couple of videos. I'm going to show you the projects and the courses that we've developed, and sort of talk through some of the interesting points. Really happy to answer questions as I go. So Adam, if you want to interrupt me, that's fine as well. I'm really, really happy to be interrupted here. So this particular program is the AITD eLearning suite, and you can see there's 3 courses in there that this is the back end of the platform, the 3 courses that we deliver, and basically they scaffold in each other. It starts with the foundations of e-learning and then move through to the planning and design. Those skills will stack on top of each other, and then finally with e-learning production and delivery. And I wanted to show you this one in particular because it's we've really harnessed the AI capability of the OpenLearning platform as part of the course. And in fact, you can see this is the production and delivery course. It's built on a Theagi's 4-door model where it's all about activities, and they can go to a knowledge base where there's lots and lots and lots of information, but that's their choice. There's no completion requirement to access that information, but the completion is in the activities. So we take them through a series of activities, but this one here is the final of this is the project that they submit. And you can see in there, develop your course using AI. And the beautiful thing about what OpenLearning offers is you can start at the course objectives and work all your way through to developing, high quality learning experiences using the learning design patterns that have been created by OpenLearning. You can create your own pages if you want to, but using the feature of the capacity of the AI inside OpenLearning, you can actually create everything. And so the goal in this is to do that, is to basically go through the entire production of a course from concept all the way through to delivery by using the AI capability of OpenLearning. It's really fun, and it's quite challenging for some people to get cracking on it very, very quickly, but the people who have completed this course really enjoy it. We just finished the delivery of one version of this course last week. And what happens is OpenLearning has given us and we really appreciate this, just given us enough licenses or enough spaces inside a portal or an institution portal that we can have all of our learners build their own courses. And you can see there's a whole bunch of different courses in here that have been developed by the most recent cohort. And I won't show you them because let's assume that their level of privacy is important. But you can see that they've all either created courses which are relevant to their employment, or also Rabbit Care 101 is clearly an interest, and cooking a Spanish paella is clearly an interest. So this suite is doing really, really well. We deliver to the Australian Federal Police. We deliver to the Army, Australian Army, and also a range of people who come to AITD and just join the courses directly, so B2C. The second course I wanted to show you, the second program I wanted to show you, this has won an award, and it's going into the AITD Awards for next year, and it's been presented at the AITD conference. The Department of the New South Wales Office of Sport, are training young athletes to prepare them for competing in the Olympics. And so one of the courses that they've provided for them is this one here. This is a really quite a comprehensive program. It's really large. We've only got a single level showing in here, but there are 6 levels of this size, and it is a significant course. And so what we've done is we've used all of we've really focused on activities that are capable in the OpenLearning platform. So getting athletes to engage with each other, sort of young people in a social media style. And we've used the tools within sort of the collaboration tools within the OpenLearning platform to achieve that. There's one thing that's really important or really interesting for this. When we created this course, there was we were given a whole lot of videos which show specific exercises. So it's loading at the moment. A whole lot of videos that show specific exercises. The athletes are then needing to practice those activities and then show their coaches and put up videos of how they've shown their coaches. There is a new tool which I want to incorporate in this that is available, and it's free where you can upload a video of what you call perfect, and someone can upload a video of what they call or what they've done to to emulate it, and it'll actually the AI tool will actually put a whole lot of dots on both videos and actually make a comparison between the person's ability to complete this activity. So we're really looking to incorporate that into this particular program. But New South Wales Office of Sport have asked us to do a whole bunch. We're currently doing their nutrition course, but there's now a suite of about 6 or 7 courses that they've asked. They just keep coming back for more. And one thing I've got to say about the OpenLearning platform is that in the discussions with government and discussions with people like Australian Federal Police, security is extremely important. And one thing that we're really impressed by is that OpenLearning have thought about their security and they've documented it, and it was a really easy conversation between the team at OpenLearning. I think Adam was there on the call, and the technical people in New South Wales government, and everyone was really happy, made very happy very quickly. So that was quite impressive. The third one I want to show you is this is another. I'm just going to show you this one here. This is Nova Entertainment. It's an Australian media organisation. Visual is really, really important to them. So visual and new and exciting has been really, really important to them. And we worked hard to get exactly the look and feel that they wanted. They've adopted this, and the organisation is actually picking up OpenLearning as their entire to train their entire compliance and induction and onboarding program. But this one is for their salespeople, and we had a lot of fun with this. We've actually used an external tool, Articulate Storyline, to develop some of the learning in there, and then we've tied it in to the tools that are native to OpenLearning. Hold on just a sec. The last thing, I'm running out of time. I think I've gone a minute over. Sorry, Adam. The last thing I wanted to show you was this one here. This one is this is an orthodontist in Victoria. They are really, really busy in the training space and experts. They're leading in the clear aligner treatment and clear aligner training. And so we've actually moved all of their training onto the OpenLearning platform, and we've connected it through a number of integrations through to HubSpot, and WooCommerce is connected to it, Stripe is connected to it, and we've actually gone through and blown away their initial system, and then put in OpenLearning as their LMS, and then connected all of their new tools to this. And the beauty of this, and OpenLearning and HubSpot are 2 perfect examples of it, is that they are really well managed, and there's a really great help desk, and you know what the roadmap has been. And we've actually found in this particular program, or for this particular client, OpenLearning have actually made changes to their platform in response to the requirements. So we really, really have appreciated what they've done for us there. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So that's some of the project work we've been doing for with the OpenLearning platform. Really love it. As I said, we are agnostic, but we just keep coming back to it, Adam, so we can't help ourselves. Thank you.
You're always welcome to come back, Andrew. Thank you very much for your time. And that's wonderful, wonderful to see the different examples of programs and courses that you've put together and the ways in which you've done it. So an excellent showcase. There's a question in the chat about what is the name of the tool or app that compares the videos?
I can come back to that. I can give it back to Adam. It's in my list of cards that I need to respond to from the recent conference I went to. I've just hit the ground running, so I'm happy to share that back to Adam, and then Adam, if you can share it on. I'm sorry I can't give it to you straight away.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Sounds good. And that was from Mike. Mike, feel free to reach out to Andrew as well. I guess probably via LinkedIn as well, and get in touch. So
yeah, look out for that.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Andrew. It's great to have you here. Thank you once again for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Now, I'm very pleased to welcome Sagar from Western State University in California, who is joining us for our showcase today, our final showcase of the day. So thank you so much, Sagar, for joining us.
Hello,
Feel free
everyone.
to, yeah, you're right, jump on.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sagar. I'm the head of collaborations and global strategic alliance, Western State University. So when we talk about Western State University is a university which is a digital university, and we are revolutionizing the traditional tertiary education with the help of open learning. We are based out of California, US. In 2023, we came with an idea to bring the American education accessible and affordable to the world. So Open Learning is a platform which we are using to bring that education to the world in a very cost-effective and accessible way. So when we talk about Western State University, who we are, like, let me explain you. We are an American university for the modern learners. So the difference between online university and digital university is that we take lectures on a lively basis. Like, we take live lectures on every weekend for the working professionals. We do not provide recorded sessions. So once the live lectures happens, it gets recorded automatically, and it automatically get recorded in the LMS, the Open Learning LMS. We have 457 learners, 67 plus learners in the very first year. And these are the students who are from different part of the world. Like, they are from America, they are from Middle East, they are from Southeast Asian countries, they are from African continent. So we are accessible by anyone, anywhere. Then we have 7+ courses on open learning right now. Since we are a university, so we are giving tertiary education. So we have Bachelor of Arts in Economics, Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, Doctorate in Business Administration, Masters of Science in Psychology, Masters of Science in Yoga, Masters of Business Administration. We have global diversified student base. We have degrees accepted worldwide. Since the open learning also gives you the facility to integrate with the, accreditable.net. So when any student passes the course, they automatically get the accreditable.net certificate generated by AI. So why open learning? Why we choose open learning? Because it's a very smart LMS. It's not just a portal. It has AI integration to it. It has a amazing 24-hour support system, since the associates or the customer service executive sits in different part of the world, different time zones. So whenever we face some problems, they just readily solve our problem. It is very so what problems open learning is solving with us? So it is a gap between different time zones. So when we integrate Zoom, suppose we are based out of California and a person sitting in Malaysia has a different time zone. So when we create a Zoom meeting over there, automatically Malaysian students sees the same time zone in Malaysia. So everything is synced between the students, faculties, and the educators. LMS is so simple that it do not require any kind of coding or any kind of technical skills. You just need to go through the orientation manual, and you got just through with the creating of the courses and everything. So as you all know, open learning has a different kinds of activities inbuilt in, and the video based activities, the match the following based activities, fill in the blanks activities. It has AI integration, which can create a course, question answers, activities for you. It is very, very cost effective. Any LMS in this of this kind would cost more than 20%. Like, would cost more than 20x of price. Like, open learning is charges just peanuts, and it is so it is also fulfilling our mission statement, like, which is to bring American education affordable and accessible to the world. So because of this LMS, our cost is very less to get it to the students. 24-hour support from the team. They have AI power starter engagement. So you can create, as I told you, you can create the courses according to that. So Zoom integration is a very good part. So most important thing, since we are in America and we are getting accreditations also from different accreditation authorities, we are showcasing this LMS to them also. So when we get some reviews or some feedback according to the LMS, the team of OpenLearning is so, shows acceptance for the feedback, and they try to, solve our queries also. So that is also amazing part of this OpenLearning. So the best part is students can track their progress. So engagement is the key in this LMS. There are so many engaging activities in which we can bring students, we can connect with the students so easily. There is a chat system among the group in the LMS. There is activities in which the students can comment or likes and dislikes each other's post, engagements, things. So this is all about the LMS which we have done, and since we are very new with the OpenLearning as of now, and we are looking forward with the more solutions with the OpenLearning, and that's it, sir.
Thank you very much for sharing. We really appreciate working together, and we're honored to support your university. So thank you very much for sharing. And yeah, I think that really does highlight that our aim is to really integrate and connect as many different tools as possible within the platform to make it easier for universities and colleges and companies to run their training programs from digital credentials.
The best part is, as a university, we are not the institution or providing some courses. So we are the university, we are providing the qualification. And all the degrees issued from your platform, from the OpenLearning platform, can be attested by the embassies of different part of the world. That is the best part. So any degree which OpenLearning platform is issuing to our students can be attested by the governments of different countries. Recently, we got it apostilled by the from the state of California. So a degree issued under the Western State University with the OpenLearning platform. So US government has, recognized that certificate. So that is the best part with us.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's right. Once the certificate is issued, you can verify it very easily anywhere in the world. So that's excellent. Are there any questions for Sagar? Feel free to share your questions, or you can connect with him via LinkedIn as well. Reach out. But thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you very much for the showcase. We look forward to continuing to work together, and we really appreciate your sharing session today.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the forum, and I just want to thank everyone for joining us here today from around the world. No matter where you are, I know the time zones are always a bit difficult, but it's been a great session. I think today we've gone through, a whole range of different initiatives and programs that are being delivered online and around the world. We've looked at the latest AI course builder and AI feedback and facilitation tools that OpenLearning has been working on. So I invite you to try out the platform. The AI feedback and facilitation tools we expect to be available to everyone at the beginning of next year. We are just finalizing the mechanics of how that will work because we expect these tools to be very widely used, and we want to make them available at no extra cost to all of our partners and customers. So we're just working out the best way of doing that, and then we're going to be rolling them out early next year. But the AI course builder, the AI assistant, those are already available within the platform, and as you saw, are being used to generate thousands of courses and hundreds of thousands of pieces of content. So you're welcome to use those and try those out. We had an excellent panel discussion today as well, looking at corporate learning and the challenges and opportunities for upskilling the current generation and the next generation of people across multinational companies, government agencies, and small and medium enterprises. So it has been a great session, and I'm also really appreciative to all of our partners who have showcased the excellent work they're doing across SHRDC, Hyatt Technologies, Uni10, Learning Plan, and Western State University. And congratulations once again to all of our award winners. We'll be sending you your trophies and certificates and promoting your courses soon. So thank you very much for participating, and congratulations once again to all the finalists and winners of the awards. So with that, thank you for joining. You're welcome to get in touch with us, learn more about OpenLearning, or let us know if you have any questions. So thank you once again, and have a great day, everyone.